In goal, right in front of us, all in green, yellow dashes and splashes across his kit, bright orange boots matching his bright orange gloves. The back four, now who is over at right back? Disasi is right back, as you said, Pat. Konza and Mings, the two centre-backs, Luca Dean at left back, Tielemans and McGinn in front of them, Morgan Rogers playing in behind Ollie Watkins, Marcus Rashford starting in the Champions League tonight, having looked really bright in his first 6 appearances for Aston Villa. He's got an early touch of the ball, he's played it back into his own half. And Leon Bailey, interesting selection, that one, starting on the right-hand side. 33 appearances this season, 1 goal so far.
Yeah, but his creativity was phenomenal last season. You know, so he was asking a lot of questions, but then the big thing he's got, when he get the ball to his feet, he is willing and able to run at players when he's confident. But it's making sure he's confident. Interesting start to the game. Very, very slowly done by Aston Villa. Kelly was asking us right at the top about, you know, the experience you've gained and learning this competition. Clearly they're trying to take a little bit of the spirit out of their opponents who aren't tracking them down yet.
It's almost walking football at the start of the game. Aston Villa starting to build inside their own half. Dean down the line to Rashford, back to Tielemans. Dean has it again. Sees Ollie Watkins coming towards him on the halfway line. Back to Dean. And to the left he finds Rashford, number 9 on his back, dancing away down the left, stopped in his tracks by the replacement right back, Saber. Aston Villa have won it back inside the Club Brugge half. Watkins across the field to Bailey. First touch is a decent one. Turns away from the left back, the Belgian international Maxime de Kuiper, and Aston Villa have it again. So all Villa in terms of possession in the first couple of minutes of this game. Next break in play, I'll give you the Club Brugge team. Here's Watkins again, goes down in the centre circle, wins an early free kick for Aston Villa. They've looked comfortable and confident in possession so far, Pat.
Yeah, but not rushing it. No need to do that. Just now, they would expect the opposition to come and play up against them and take a few chances. Of course, watching them in recent games in the Champions League, they love to play in the break. Villa are almost saying, well, we're not going to give that a chance.
Unai Emery already out to the edge of his technical area. Big puffy black coat on tonight. Yuri Tielemans jeered and whistled to the rafters. The former Anderlecht player chips the free kick into the penalty area. Mings jumps really well, gets the header down. Oh, and it's into the bottom corner from Leon Bailey. What a start for Aston Villa in the Champions League knockout stages. You cannot hit it sweeter than that. Mings leapt so well to win the header. Bailey ran onto it. He's drilled it into the bottom corner on the half volley. Club Brugge 0, Aston Villa 1.
The game has started in slow motion, and that goal was scored in slow motion as well. Ball played to the back post, as you say. It was about 20 feet before it reached Mings that you knew he's going to win that. No one's going to get close to him, and he nods it back down. But they were stationary, those defenders there, and that control from Bailey is the thing, isn't it? It's on his left foot, he has to keep it down. Everything else will work if you keep it down, and it is a lovely little side foot finish into the corner. Dream start for Villa.
What was that I was saying, Pat, about Leon Bailey needing to prove himself this evening?
Yeah, 1 goal this season. Oh, he's doubled that.
He's doubled that. 3 minutes in, first half, 5 Live and BBC Sounds live in Belgium. Full commentary of PSV Eindhoven against Arsenal. All of these this week. First legs of the last 16 ties in the Champions League. And if you've just tuned in, you've missed a goal already. A goal for Aston Villa, scored by Leon Bailey. Here's Bruges' goalkeeper. You'll know him well, Simon Mignolet, former Sunderland and Liverpool man. Centre forward, former Barcelona striker Ferran Jutgla gets a touch of the ball. Back to Hans Van Aken. Their goal-scoring midfielder, who's a giant of a man, 6'5" tall, strides the pitch like a colossus. Loose touch from Talby on the right, gives it away to Watkins. He goes airing away down the left wing with the ball for Villa. Great start for Unai Emery's team. Luca Dean infield to Yuri Tielemans, and Tielemans taking control. Walking pace across to McGinn and back to Mings. 4 minutes in. Club Brugge 0, Aston Villa 1.
That's a dream scenario there, but watching Tielemans and McGinn there. Now McGinn's playing his deeper role this time. We know he sometimes plays a little bit further up front, but he's perfectly capable of doing that, and he's calmed it down, and Tielemans is calming it down, and they're holding it up, and they're making no effort to go and push further forward because they don't need to.
John McGinn, very straight talking in the press conference last night, talking about how disappointed he was, all the players were, with performances away from home in all competitions so far this season. And from the way he was talking, you sense that Villa would really be at it from the start tonight. That is exactly what they have been. They're leading 1-0, and Emi Martinez, their goalkeeper, is getting a touch of the ball inside his own penalty area.
Isn't it interesting? We watch so much Premier League football, and you play out from the back, as Aston Villa are doing just now. You get closed down. Not here.
No.
Nope, they're just standing, watching Villa, passing it around, doing what they like with it. And it's very strange.
Konza rumbling forward, made it to the halfway line, stumbled and lost it. Van Aken plays it into midfield. Former Norwich man Christos Solis flicks the ball to his left-hand side. Jutla loses control. Throw in for Villa in the right-back position. Let's give you this Club Brugge team then. Simon Mignolet, he is the goalkeeper, now at the grand old age of 36, in his 6th season at the club since joining from Liverpool. Kiriani Saba is the right-back. Maxim de Kuiper, Belgian international, at left-back. Brandon Mekela, centre-back. He's also approaching 500 appearances for the club, playing in a protective face mask this evening alongside Joel Ordonez, the Ecuadorian, his fellow centre-back. Ball is given away here by Aston Villa. Saba, the right-back, encouraged to come forward. He's got Chemstein Talbi, who's a danger man, on the right here, number 68. Plays back into midfield. There's Onyedika. Forward, little dancing run from the Swiss international Yashari, tackled by McGinn. McGinn, good pass forward to Rashford, and then the ball is taken off his toes by Saba, and you get the applause from the Club Brugge fans. So Rafael Onyedika, the Nigerian, alongside the Swiss Yashari in central midfield. Chemstein Talbi wide on the right, Solis on the left, Hans Van Aken, who we're calling the Belgian Frank Lampard, and Ferran Jutla, who scored 4 goals in his last 5 games and scored in each leg against Atalanta. So Aston Villa would be wise to keep an eye on him. 6.5 minutes in, Villa lead 1-0.
And we're talking about, they've got a young manager he's very highly rated just now. He's come a long way in a very, very short period of time. But intriguing to see what he's doing with his striker and Van Aken, who's actually coming from slightly deeper and sometimes looking like a double centre-forward partnership. Interesting to see how that develops.
Here's Ordonez, just 20 years old himself. High diagonal ball to the left. Solis is going to hit the cross first time on the volley. Disasi blocked it and kept it in play, says the assistant referee, as he hooked it away on the overhead. Another cross comes in. This hits Disasi, and it goes behind for the first Club Brugge corner. Leon Bailey's goal has Aston Villa 1-0 in front, 7 minutes played in the first half. Our commentary position I would describe as bijou. It's tight, Pat.
Yes, it definitely is. But for this corner kick, it's absolutely perfect. We're almost on a line with it.
We're right in line with the penalty area and the goal that Aston Villa are defending in this first half in Belgium. Our referee, João Pinheiro, bright orange short sleeve shirt, black shorts and orange socks. Corner comes in from the left, deep to the far post, beats everyone and curls behind for a goal kick to Aston Villa. Emi Martinez holding the back of his head. Now, did he take a knock inside the 6-yard box, or was something lobbed at him? It's hard to see.
That's a replay's playing in our monitors in front of you here, but he's not turning around and complaining too much about it.
Right, now be careful, Tyrone Mings. That's a goal kick. The game is underway. Do not pick the ball up. He's played it to Emi Martinez, who's got it out to Dean on the left. Dean floats the pass to Rashford. The layoff to Dean, forward to Watkins. Every pass perfect at the moment for Villa. Rashford just scoops it over the legs of Mekela, and he's away at speed, heading towards the edge of the penalty area. Thinks about the shot, rolls it to Bailey instead. Back to Rashford. Will shoot from the angle. That's blocked, and it doesn't go behind. It's kept in play. Solis tried to get it away. Bailey's on his game tonight, wins it back for Aston Villa. Villa are looking sharp.
Yeah, brilliant for Rashford there. I mean, there's a big argument for a handball when he wins the ball in the first place, but that's what you get VAR for, so you just keep on playing on. And he got the shot away. I thought it was absolutely superb. But him and Bailey, good understanding. Lively tonight, both of them, aren't they?
Had assists so far, Marcus Rashford, in the early stages of his Aston Villa career. Yet to score for his new club. Again, flicks a little pass into the path of Dean. He was on the charge down the left. The last touch has come off him, and it's gone out for a Club Brugge throw. Second leg next week, Wednesday night at Villa Park. And Club Brugge's record against English teams in European competition away from home, not good. They've not won in England in 16 attempts. 2 draws and 14 defeats. One of those defeats at Wembley in the European Cup final that I mentioned back in 1978. The ball is with Talbi. Talby's going to have a run at Dean. Dean watches the ball carefully, stretches out a left leg and knocks it out for a throw-in to Bruges. Villa leading 1-0.
Just getting into slightly better positions. They're watching their body language. They don't seem particularly panicked at being down, but if they lost another one now, it doesn't matter what kind of team you are, how much of a good season you're having, you will be spooked by that if you're 2-0 down away from home.
Ball is played by Onyedika for the home team across to Maxim de Kuiper, the left back. There's Mekela in the protective face mask. Quickly looking for Talby again on the right. This is Saba's cross, the right back with his right foot. Ball comes dropping out of the sky. Dean takes a touch on his left foot. Tielemans misses Rashford with the pass, and it goes out for a throw into Club Brugge. On the right, level with the edge of the Aston Villa penalty area. 10 minutes played, 5 live at BBC Sounds. Champions League knockout football. First leg of the last 16. Dream start for Aston Villa. Leon Bailey with the sweet strike to give them the lead. Throw in from Saba, headed away powerfully by Tielemans. Drops to Onyedika, who didn't play against Aston Villa in the game in the group stages because he was sent off in the previous game away to AC Milan. So Villa face him for the first time tonight. Joel Ordonez, centre-back, inside his own half, comes back to Mignolet, who's in custard yellow, away to our left. Drives the ball away to the right, chested down by Van Aken. Little flick infield to Jukla, tackled there by McGinn. Up it goes to Watkins, turns it round to Rodgers, trying to get it back to Watkins, intercepted on the halfway line. If that had got through, Watkins was away and running.
Absolutely brilliant. The understanding between those two sometimes is quite phenomenal there.
Yashari, lofted ball over the top. Solis brings it down on his right foot. Disasi is with him. He's being forced back into the area. Shot comes in and finds the bottom corner. It's the Kuiper, the left back, and Club Brugge are level. We've only played 11 minutes of the game tonight, and already we've seen 2 goals. Really well worked by the home team. Sweet strike from Maxim de Kuiper. Emi Martinez dived to his left, but couldn't get fingers on it. It's Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1.
I was just saying there, I didn't think Bruges looked as if they were panicked in any way. If they lost another goal, they might do, but they looked comfortable, they looked really good. And by the way, the ball played wide, long to the left-hand side. We've got to check to make sure it wasn't offside. I think he probably just about timed it right. But the comfort they have had and the confidence they've had, even when they were a goal down, they looked as if they knew what they were doing. They knew that they create chances. That's the first real open chance they've had, and they've tucked it away.
Those are the chants you hear of Brugge, Brugge, Brugge. Those are the locals calling the club what they call the club. So 1-1. Yeah, goal stands. They've had a look for the offside. Aston Villa pegged back. Exciting start to this game in the Champions League. 8 o'clock tonight, full commentary of PSV against Arsenal. Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton over there bringing you that one. Tomorrow night we're in Paris for Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool, and then Thursday we're in Spain. 5:45 kickoff. Note that full commentary of Real Sociedad against Manchester United in the Europa League. So Axel Disasi, right back for Aston Villa this evening, and still finding his way, isn't he, Pat, in this Villa team? Only his 4th appearance this evening.
Well, I think, it did come from that area. That is where you knew that Brugge were going to try and attack, and they did come down that left-hand side there. And the unfortunate thing for Disasi, he's not an actual right full-back. He is a centre-back, 100% a centre-back, but he's been stuck out there a little bit just now. And, well, it's another goal that's come from that vague area.
Black and blue bedlam inside this stadium at the moment as Club Brugge look to get on the ball inside the Villa half. John McGinn using his strength to hold off Yashari. Back to Konza. Konza in turn rolls his pass back to Emi Martinez. And again, Club Brugge happy to stand off here. So Martinez has the ball by the penalty spot. 2 Club Brugge players on the edge of the penalty area, not even bothered.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams do like to pressure there. But if you press and the press is beaten, there's a massive gap, and that's the gap that Aston Villa want to use. So they've decided, we're not going to give you that. We'll come up vaguely towards about 30 yards out, then you must play through us. But it's a kind of, it's almost like a stalemate, the way they look at each other, who's going to move first.
Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1. Martinez again for Villa, this time 6-7 yards outside his penalty area, across to Mings. Mings has had enough of this, starts to bring the ball forward to Watkins, finds Rashford, back to Watkins. He's got Bruges defenders backpedaling here. Rodgers involved, quickly on to Bailey. Bailey gets that cross into the near post, looking for Watkins. Defender got a touch on the ball. Chance to clear for Saba, blocked by Rashford. Tielemans accidentally tripped on the edge of the box. A cross comes in from the left from Dean, and it's headed away for a throw into Villa, 1-1.
Watkins has got it, just like any centre forward would be. Ball came in for the right, and he was just slightly on his heels. Had he got himself between the centre backs and the goalkeeper, it was a tap-in. A very easy tap-in for him. But well done again, Leon Bailey. That goal's helped him, hasn't it? He's got real confidence in his play.
I don't remember there being a boatload of chances in the group game between these two teams. That was decided by the penalty after the Tyrone Mings handball. Tonight, it feels like there are going to be goals in the game. Both teams look threatening going forward.
Actually, watching it, I think Villa would like to play at a slower tempo, calmly, not make it a kind of slugfest, as it were. They might not get an option. if the opposition score another goal here, they need to come back on it. It's interesting. It's 1-1, but it doesn't look as if we're finished with the goals.
Konza creeping forward, ball at his feet, just into the Bruges half. Rodgers makes a run from left to right, couldn't control it. Yashari, little pass in field. Tielemans reads that. 1-2 there with Rodgers. Tielemans tries to get away. This time Solis is there to win it back for the home team and goes back to Mignolet. Out to Mekela. Now Aston Villa more interested in the press there. Rodgers quickly on to Mekela. Back to the goalkeeper, Simon Mignolet again. 16 minutes gone in the first half. Club Bruges 1, Aston Villa 1. John Akers will bring us updates on Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid tonight as well. That kicks off at 8 o'clock. Winners of PSV Arsenal will meet the winners of that tie in the quarter-finals. Dortmund Lille also playing the first leg of the last 16 this evening. Here's Van Aken just inside his own half to Mekela. Those the two most experienced players in this Club Bruges team. Onyedika is the central midfielder. He's dropped in between his centre-backs who've spread wide. De Kuyper, the goal scorer tonight at left-back. Back to Mekela. Arms in the air from Saba on the right-hand side, the right-back. The pass is just beyond him and goes straight out for a throw to Villa. Well
done, Digne, there, because the interesting thing, the full-back, Saba, is coming on there. He's linking up with his winger in front of Vintalbi. But Marcus Rashford's not going with him. He's just sitting up there saying, Brett, you can go. I'll trust my full-back to come across and double mark. Yeah, fair enough, but in the end, if it's 2 against 1 against Digne, he could be in trouble there. But Rashford, that's obviously what he's been told to do. Let the full-back go and be ready for the break.
Marcus Rashford's last appearance in the Champions League, he was actually sent off. Group game against FC Copenhagen for Manchester United. They lost it 4-3. Back in Champions League action tonight. Bailey, the goal scorer for Villa, chases a ball downfield. De Kuyper back to Mignolet, closed down by Rodgers. Into the feet of Onyedika, under pressure, tries to turn it around to the left back to Kuyper. Challenge from Bailey, goes out for a throw-in to Club Bruges. 18 minutes played. Club Bruges 1, Aston Villa 1. De Kuyper ready to take the throw. First time volleyed pass, gets Club Bruges away. Talby wants it early, just over the halfway line. The flag goes up. Wondered whether he might be offside, and the assistant referee decides he is.
Yeah, you got your flag up early there. Not a phrase you use very often these days. You got your flag up early. But right thing to do there. It's pretty high up in the play. There was a break on the left-hand side there, but the way the game plays, watching Van Aken, he is pretty special.
Yeah.
The intelligence of his play is brilliant. You don't know who, nobody knows who to mark him. He stands on Tielemans sometimes, and then he kind of drifts off them, goes towards Mings. Mings thinks he's his man, and then eventually when both of them think it's the other man should be marking him, he finds the gap, he finds the space. He's a clever player.
492 appearances, 137 goals, 105 assists. 10 seasons at the club, double figures for goals every single season.
You know, there are some players that they never want to be spotted, you know. That's tough when you're 6'5", but he still manages it.
Here he is now on the ball. He's got that captain's armband, bright green, wrapped around his left bicep. Bruges knocking it around at the back. No pressure from Villa at the moment. There's Mekela. Plays across to De Kuyper. Now the runs start ahead of him.
They keep on playing that ball that I was telling you about. Rashford's not going back, so they're trying to play it over the top. But so far, Digne's covered it again.
Yeah, Dean headed it away to Rashford, infield to Rodgers, does well to hold his man off and nearly releases Watkins through the inside right channel. Cleared quickly, Jutgla heads it down, Talby's lost it, Rashford onto it, just pokes it past the challenge to Rodgers. Rodgers to McGinn. McGinn turns, plays back to Konza here, who's right in the middle of the pitch. Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1. And again, he's allowed to tiptoe forward, just poking the ball in front of him ever so gently. Rodgers, first time ball round the corner. Watkins lay off, Rodgers then to Bailey, just beyond him. And out for a throw-in to Club Brugge in the left-back position.
They are great at that little move, aren't they? Rodgers and Watkins. One actually gets it and the other one spins. I mean, it's the oldest one in the book. Usually, when you're playing as a double centre forward, somebody holds it, somebody spins, somebody goes short, someone goes long. But they understand each other. It really is quite old school. Then you add Rashford into that mix as well, who also enjoys that specific movement. And you just get a feeling that at one point they're going to get through playing that little 1-2 ball.
Still 1-1. Dean, great control, brings the ball down out of the sky. Forward to Tielemans. There's McGinn to his right. Out it goes to Bailey. Bailey picks up the pace immediately, runs at De Kuyper, stops in his tracks. Disasi's in support. There's McGinn. Back it comes towards the halfway line. Tielemans across to Mings. Mings has Dean to his left. Given time to play the pass. Just inside the Club Brugge half. Dean to Rashford with his back to goal. He comes all the way back to Mings, and Club Brugge again settling to their defensive shape. Konza gets the ball just short of the halfway line, across to Disasi. Bailey sets off. Disasi tries to float one over the top of De Kuyper. He wins the first header. It drops to Watkins, wide on the right. Back to Disasi. Pass in field to McGinn. Gets his head up early on. Holds off for Narkany, trying to bump him off the ball. McGinn was strong enough to hold him off. Then Mings passes out to Rashford on the left. Rashford has got the right back in front of him, Saba. Whips a pass low in towards Watkins. He couldn't hold on to it. Onyedika up towards Jukla. McGinn's in like a shot there. Jukla goes down, but there's a ball in behind Disasi, and Solis is onto it for Club Brugge. Into the penalty area, trying to get onto his right foot. Disasi got a really important touch on the ball. He's still going. Cross is blocked by Disasi, and Aston Villa have a chance to bring it away. Pat Nevin.
Did you see Disasi's reaction there? He punched the air there because he got the two tackles in. He was isolated. That's exactly what Brugge have been trying to get the whole of this game so far. It happened, and Disasi stood tall.
Brilliant vision from John McGinn. Knew where Leon Bailey was going to be. Pass from inside his own half. Bailey's tripped surely on the corner of the penalty area. Bailey looking dangerous on the right tonight. Rashford the same on the left. Watkins zipping about in the middle. It's Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1, and Aston Villa have a free kick in an attacking position on the right.
De Kuyper, I mean, he's very, very happy. Obviously, he scored a goal in the game so far. He's got a problem, though. He's had one little run against his winger, and he's been destroyed for pace. Absolutely destroyed. The ball actually never came. It never came to Bailey there when it was played to him, but it was done for pace. And if that happens as a fullback, you're worried. And right now, De Kuyper's worried.
Aston Villa have a set piece. Austin McPhee, set piece coach, is out on the side of the pitch with the long hair tucked into the hood of his coat, standing next to the Villa boss Unai Emery. 1-1 against Club Brugge at the moment. John McGinn.
This is where Disasi's useful, because he's tall and he's good in the air.
Rashford's going to attack the back post. 3 or 4 white shirts in the middle. McGinn's delivery headed away. Back to McGinn, who comes scampering back and collects the ball for Villa. Delivers it immediately again on the long diagonal, looking for Mings. Mignolet's read that from a long way away, comes racing across and catches with both hands. Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1. We're just past the midway point of the first half.
That ball was in the air a long time there, and Mignolet came all the way and claimed it. Probably about 16, 17 yards outside his goal, right? I know why he did that, because he didn't do that for the goal.
Yes.
And it was in the air a long, long time before it reached Mings for the head down. And I think Mignolet thought, right, I'm not going to let that happen again.
Yeah, for the Aston Villa goal came very early in the game. Mings won the header at the back post, nodded it back into the penalty area. Bailey was there, ran onto it and just timed it so sweetly into the bottom corner. Mignolet had no chance. Club Brugge bringing the ball forward. Jukla, Konza in on him, snaps into the challenge. Clearance finds Rodgers. Rodgers holding off Yashari, who's being a pest, trying to stop him, but still Rodgers gets away, fires the cross in. It's beyond Watkins at the near post, beats everyone, and goes out for the throw-in to Brugge in the right-back position.
He's just stronger, bigger, a little bit quicker, and he gets the ball in there. And it is a wee bit of a shame that he's fired that. He has lashed that. If anyone get the end of it, they've knocked her head off. So, but good power there, good strength. And it shows you in that right-hand side. They've got a slight problem down there.
Club Brugge move the ball quickly forward. Solis, the danger man, on the left, running at Disasi, lays it off to the edge of the penalty area. Shot is deflected. Martinez sprinting to his left, keeps the ball in play, runs across on the bounce, and then you see all the fans, almost like dominoes in the lower tier behind the goal, all sitting down. So they're on their feet in excitement that something might happen. Big sigh, and they all sit down again.
Yeah, that's actually a really good atmosphere in here tonight. As in, excited, but no way dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice atmosphere, just like the town itself.
Yeah, we had a wonderful walk around for a couple of hours, Pat and I. Pat actually ate his lunch in reverse, so you went for the sort of apple strudel before the main. Rashford on the turn, wide on the left. This time Saba's got it covered, plays back to Mignolet. Did look good though, Pat.
As far as I'm concerned, there is no wrong time to eat apple strudel.
I think you're right, particularly over here. If you've never been to the city of Bruges, I really do recommend it. It is simply stunning. Here's Ordonez for Club Brugge. 20 minutes left in the first half. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. First night of Champions League commentaries over the next couple of nights. We've got Europa League on Thursday as well. 5:45 kickoff. Real Sociedad against Manchester United. Ordonez, lofted ball over the top of the Villa backline, collected by Jucler. Martinez puts a hand up, hopefully for offside. Assistant referee not interested. Saba in support of the attack, finds Onyedika. Bruges have come back towards the halfway line, still inside the Villa half. Then Yashari again looking for that diagonal, but this one's too straight, and Martinez sees it early and comes out and claims it for Aston Villa. Club Brugge 1, Villa 1.
It's interesting, you can't actually take your eyes off one or two players out there. Now Rashford does draw your eye a lot. You know, watching it for Manchester United, everybody knew the movement wasn't good. He wasn't getting back, he wasn't hurting himself for the team. He is a different type of player now. He is a more kind of laid back, relaxed. There's no jerkiness about his movement, but there has to be a little bit more desire sometimes, and he's shown that for Villa so far. So far in this game, maybe less so. He's a little bit more exposed in this stage game when he gets the ball.
Martinez, short pass to Mings. Club Brugge stand off again. Jucler then comes jogging in towards Mings, but he can easily play his pass to Dean. Rashford sets off. Dean sees him on his way. Floated ball down the left, intercepted by Saba, cleared, headed by Tielemans into the feet of Watkins. He was looking for Rodgers in the middle. The pass didn't get there. Then Yashari onto the ball for Club Brugge. Their goal scorer is the left back, De Kuiper. Solis, though, plays it back to Van Aken. Van Aken to the centre-back, Mekela. Mekela with his right foot strokes it across this checkered turf, and then Ordonez passes down the inside right channel beyond the on-rushing Saba, who was coming through the middle of the field, and Talbi wide right and straight through to Martinez.
Yeah, the two young lads on the right here, I mean, one's 19, the other 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, good players. They actually look like twins, don't they, from here? But I was expecting a little bit more from them. They've not been able to get the ball. They've got themselves in good positions, but you know, the nous and understanding of Digne so far has been able to take care of the both of them. I do underline so far.
Aston Villa have lost their last 3 games away from home. Pat and I saw the first of those away at Monaco, where they were pretty flat, and Unai Emery was furious after the game. Then a 2-0 defeat at Wolves in the Premier League, and thumped recently, of course, by Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. This is better so far this evening. They took the early lead. They've been pegged back. It's 1-1, knocking the ball around crisply and quickly, and Rashford eventually receives it. He's just inside his own half. Tielemans, 5 yards to his right, gets the ball moving across the field to Disasi. Nearly lost it to Solis, gets through that challenge, goes wide to Bailey. Bailey's got the one-on-one against De Kuiper. Cuts back infield into the penalty area, still moving, looks for the cut back to Tielemans. The pass is deflected into the arms of Mignolet, who immediately sprints to the edge of the penalty area. And under the new laws coming in, we'd be counting now, Pat. You're only going to get 8 seconds. I think that was probably okay, that release there.
Looking forward to that.
Are you?
Very hopeful that actually works, because, I mean, it happens all the time in football. A rule's brought in and you find a way to break it. So what happened is the goalkeeper will hold it for 8 seconds and then he'll drop it at his feet. But that's fine. It's up to then the opposition to go and close them down.
Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1, just over 15 minutes remaining in the first half. Still relatively mild, actually, this evening. We've gone for lots of layers. Temperature will start dropping soon. Now here is Talby on the right, Saba in support, gets the cross in, Mings is there, heads it away. Rashford is going to get to that ball first, ahead of Saba. Turns and plays back to Dean, and Dean's overrun that and conceded a throw. Attacking position for Club Brugge on the right.
So that move that I've mentioned there between the two players on the right hand here, side Saba and Talby, and they got a 1-2, and they got to the byline there. No sight whatsoever of Marcus Rashford. He's not followed back, and it's intriguing to know. I mean, I'd love to be in the dressing room and find out. As the manager said, actually, don't bother. Just let your fullback run off you.
Yashari plays it round McGinn. Van Aken lays it off, 30 yards from goal. De Kuyper plays out to his left. Little flick pass from Solis. Early cross from De Kuyper. Now this might fall to Talby. Takes a touch. Brilliant save from Martinez. Down low to his right. Talby hit that well, fizzing it towards the far corner. And Emi Martinez makes a crucial intervention for Aston Villa. That has got the home fans buzzing, and they still have the ball here, and the danger is not clear for Villa. Yashari, though, takes his time, plays back to Mekala. It was De Kuyper's cross from the left, first-time ball that caused all the danger. More thoughts from Pat Nevin in just a second. Let's see what Club Brugge can do. Well, not much, because Onyedika slipped on the ball. Rodgers nips in and knocks it out of play for a Club Brugge throw.
I can't remember the last time I ever seen that happening. The ball comes to Onyedika there, and he looks up to see where to play it and forgets where the ball is, and utterly panics, even though there's no one near him there. Almost fell over, got away a bit, but you can see now just a little bit beginning to happen on this right-hand side for Bruges. They're getting into dangerous areas. Got to the byline a moment ago, then got that shot in there as well from Talby. So, you know, beginning to see a few danger signs in the wide areas.
Talby scored 2 in the 3-1 win away to Atalanta in the second leg of the knockout tie. He's got his hand up in the air here, hoping for the long diagonal from Van Aken. Van Aken just floats about all over the pitch for Club Brugge. Here's Talby again, and now suddenly he's up to full speed, and Dean is trying to chase him. Here's Onyedika. Onyedika plays back to Mekala. Club Brugge enjoying a good few minutes of possession here. 1-1 against Aston Villa. Jucler, the centre-forward, drops deep. Quick first-time ball from him out to the right to Saba. Saba fires it infield. Good first touch from Onyedika. There's Van Aken. Lays it off to Jucler, twisting and turning on the edge of the box. Villa have got enough men there to cover that. Back it comes to Yashari. Short ball forward. Jucler involved again. Little run made off Jucler. Aston Villa had it with Tielemans. They've given the ball away, and they can't get a release of the pressure at the moment. Now they try and get it, and Bailey accidentally gets pushed in the face by Onyedika, and Aston Villa will get the free kick. Bruges 1, Villa 1.
Yeah, but the last 4 or 5 minutes is different. Bruges, absolutely, totally different. They've lifted the pace a little bit, the confidence is growing, they're playing much better angles. I think they were very, very dull before that, not playing to their capabilities. They are beginning to do that now. We just had a little look there once again at the kind of hand to the face, and it's not a punch, it's just a little touch in the face. No,
accidental contact, but is a free kick. We're seeing the save again from Emi Martinez. How good a save is that, Pat, do you think?
No, it is really good. Again, one of those where, had it gone through him, you'd have said that's terrible. It is, isn't it? It's one of those ones, but he saved it, he's got his hand down quickly, and he's put it away to a good area. Well done, goalkeeper. One of those ones where it doesn't look quite so good in slow motion, but it didn't happen in slow motion.
No, it didn't. Hit powerfully at close range. I thought he did really well to get down so quickly. In terms of these two fellas on the right for Club Bruges, Saba, the right back, is 20, Talby is 19. I've just got my visual identifiers now. They've got exactly the same haircut. They're both playing in white boots. Talby, long sleeve shirt, and he's got one of those skin long sleeve tops underneath it, and socks up to the knees. Saba, the right back, socks rolled down.
They've got a
short sleeve shirt.
I was going for slightly whiter boots for Talby.
Okay. Bright white compared to sort of cream for the right back, Saba. Villa in bright white this evening, looking like they belong at Wimbledon, playing a bit of lawn tennis. 12 minutes left in the first half. Bruges 1, Villa 1. Rashford back to Dean. Dean into his own half, and here's Mings, who's in the short-sleeved white shirt, untucked, walking forwards with the ball at his feet. Rashford sets off, and Mings launches it downfield, headed away by Saba. There is Talby under a bit of pressure, lobs the ball up in the air. Ordonez comes to win it, heads it away, but Bailey's there first, prods the ball to his right to Disasi. Disasi back to McGinn. McGinn, couple of touches, again uses Disasi, bobbles a pass to his right, and then tries to thread one through to Bailey. Couldn't find him chance for Club Brugge to bring it away, and they do turn defence into attack extremely quickly at times. Yashari, nice passer of the ball, feeds one out to the left-hand side. De Kuyper is high. Club Brugge getting players in the middle. Mings has the cross covered, clears it away on the half volley. First time pass from De Kuyper is back to Onyedika. Villa have let Van Aken turn in a central position 35 yards out. Now it comes to the right to Saba. Saba plays back to Ordonez. 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Club Brugge 1, Villa 1, and this suddenly feels a very even game indeed. First leg, last 16 of the Champions League. Winners over the two legs will go through to the quarter-finals, and they will play Liverpool or Paris Saint-Germain. Talbi getting away from Dean. Sudden burst of pace, edge of the box, pass down to the byline, cut back from Solis. Dean is there and just rolls a little ball to Tielemans. Would have been offside.
Yeah, it was definitely offside anyway. But again, this right-hand side.
Oh, Rodgers is giving it away. He was looking for Tielemans. Could be trouble for Villa this. Edge of the penalty area, lines up the shot. Solis, low one into the legs of Konza. It's blocked. Mekela leaps to win a header. Van Aken is there. Good presence of mind to hold on to that ball rather than play the pass. Now he goes back into his own half, and Club Brugge will start again. Pat.
For Club Brugge in the first 20 minutes, I'll be honest with you, watching him, I'm thinking, you don't look as if you belong here. You know, you're not really doing anything special. You're not moving the ball quickly. You're not really surprising me anyway at all. Last 10 minutes or so, you can see it. They're a good team when they really start on it.
He's a different player as well, Pat. So we've just seen Solis start down the left. He's won Club Brugge a corner. He was obviously younger because it was a few years ago when he arrived at Norwich. Didn't have a massive impact there. Was on loan at Fortuna Düsseldorf last season, scored loads of goals for them. Comes here and looks really dangerous.
Yeah, it does. I mean, sometimes it takes a player a few years to mature, and of course a lot of the players, the creative ones in the wide areas, it's that final ball is the last thing they learn to do at the right times. You get to see that a little bit more now from those two wide areas, and if they get those players moving, they're a real danger.
Into the last 10 minutes of the first half in the Jan Bredel Stadion in Bruges. Corner, real pace, swung into the far post. Mekela heads it behind. He was right down by the byline there, almost an impossible header. Had to get that back across goal, couldn't do it the angle he was at. Emi Martinez clatters both sets of his studs against the left-hand post of the goal and gets ready to take the goal kick. I bet you Tyrone Mings must have flashback nightmares of what happened to him here in November. Do you remember it, Pat?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if you've seen it once, you won't forget it.
Yeah.
Watching it, even if it was you, bad enough. The thing is with football players, you make mistakes. You cannot live in the past. You cannot think about it. You just move on. So yeah, it would have been on his mind, but he'll have moved on.
Here's Bailey's header, looking for the run of Watkins, cleared by Bruges up towards Yashari. There's Solis, finds Onyedika. Bailey tries to win it off him, can't do that. Bruges work it over to the right-hand side of the field, back into the middle of the pitch to Mekela. Yashari looking like a nice player this evening, getting on the ball and finding some passes. He was part of the Swiss squad at the last Euros, but didn't make an appearance in the tournament. There's Ordonez, Onyedika, cross to Yashari, jet black hair, number 30, emblazoned in bright white on the back of his black and blue striped shirt. There's Mekela across to Van Aken, back to the halfway line to Yashari. Villa suddenly start the press, and Watkins comes racing towards Mignolet, who passes out to Mekela. Mekela to De Kuyper. Infield it comes to Yashari, bit of space for him. Fizzes the ball across the legs of Van Aken. Van Aken let it go because here's Talbi on the run, taking on Rashford. Glides away from Rashford, rolls the pass to the left, controlled by Solis. Thought about an early shot, holds on to it. De Kuyper's there. That'll cut back into the penalty area. That's Talbi who suddenly popped up on the left. Out to De Kuyper, cross comes in. Jukkler tries to control it, got away from him. Rodgers on the dribble, out of his own half, running with the ball from right to left and lays it off to Luca Dean. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Club Brugge 1, Villa 1.
I mean, Talbi looks really good running across the line there, but Villa are ready for him. Massive a number of white shirts in that D there, so Billy controlled it a little bit. He ran into bodies, but the one player that's jumping out at me just now for Aston Villa, watching Leon Bailey, those feet are back, aren't they?
Yeah.
The pace is back, the confidence is back. I mean, and he didn't look anywhere near that player for the first half of the season. Looking at him now, he looks like that player who was periods of time last season unstoppable.
As you said, Pat, 14 goals in all competitions last season. We've seen nothing like that so far this season, but that looks like the player.
It looks like the guy. Now, he knows he's got the pace of the player he's playing against, which always helps. Scoring a goal, that helps as well. But he just wants to get on the ball, and I think he would just be a wee bit disappointed that he's not got on the ball more often, and that's not his fault, that's service.
Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1. You can always listen to the commentaries on 5 Live and Sports Extra on the move via the BBC Sounds app. That is where you'll find the Football Daily podcast with the debrief on tonight's Champions League football. We've got commentary of PSV against Arsenal to come. Your latest Fantasy 606 podcast will be out tomorrow morning as well. Felix White, co-presenter of the Tail Enders podcast, amongst other things, was our guest on Fantasy 606 in the recording this morning. He's having a great season with his FPL team, so if you want to hear from him, he'll be on the pod tomorrow. Here's McGinn to Tielemans, across to Dean. Dean with his left foot whips that out to Rashford. Rashford has a chance here to have a go at Sabre, and he's going to try and take him on the outside. Sabre gets a foot on the ball. Rashford holds him off, fires it into the near post. Mignolet catches it.
Better for Marcus Rashford. That's the first time he's got the ball a lot, and the first thing he does is just stop and slows it down. Sometimes, you watch Jack Grealish doing that sometimes, you think, yeah, go at your man. You've got the skills to do it, you've got the pace to do it. And Marcus was doing a little bit of that early on in the game, but that time, got the ball, first movement was forward, put the defender on his heels a little bit, maybe got a little bit lucky, but got to the byline and got a half-decent crosser. Fascinating
Champions League contest at the moment. Place in the quarter-finals at stake. First half of the first leg here in Belgium. Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1. Yashari to Onyedika, not the friendliest pass back, but Yashari had time to control it. Then he chips a ball down the middle of the pitch. Disasi is up to win the header. Onyedika chests it down, bumps off Morgan Rogers, loses it to Bailey, who again immediately with the ball at his feet, real sort of sharpness and zip about him. Tielemans across to Rashford. Dean is bombing on the outside to give him an option. Rashford goes inside though to Watkins. Now he lays it out wide to Dean. Dean down by the byline, first time cross, deliciously hit. Header from Watkins, he was falling backwards, just glancing it across goal. Bailey won't get to that. The clearance though only reaches McGinn. McGinn turns and finds Tielemans, central position 40 yards out. Suddenly Mings is on the charge forward for Villa. Good pass again out to Dean on the left, cross into the near post, not the best, volleyed away by Ordonez, and Jukla is first there for Club Brugge. Konza's followed him all the way, gets a foot on the ball and just stops it all, and it goes out for the throw. Pat Nevin.
Really cool by Konza there. He understood that Mings had gone away, he'd left a massive big gap there. There could have been a bit of pressure, but Konza was so calm. Didn't dive in, and he just shepherded him out to the corner, and at no point did you think the ball was going to get past him, because he wasn't panicked. Just that sort of thing that Van Dijk does all the time.
Unai Emery looking ever so slightly anxious, ants in the pants on the sidelines at the moment, clapping his hands together, moving about. Here's McGinn on the ball, the Aston Villa captain, turns on the centre circle, gets away from Yashari, finds Konza to his right. Closing stages of the first half. McGinn again just inside the Bruges half, spots a little gap, runs through it, keeps going here McGinn, and then eventually lays it back to Dean. Rashford drops deep, 10 yards inside the Bruges half, but the ball comes back centrally to Mings. Mings stops it with the studs of his left boot across to his centre-back partner Konza. Back to Mings. Here's Tielemans on the halfway line. Cross that halfway line. McGinn stretches, couldn't get a foot on the ball, but Disasi is there to take possession. McGinn again just inside his own half, slides a pass to Tielemans. Tielemans drops a shoulder straight through the middle, looking for the run of Watkins, nearly found him. Ordonez read it, steps in and intercepts for Bruges. He's knocked over by Bailey. Free kick for the home team. 1-1.
Interesting ball right through the middle of the defence there. Had to be played with the outside of his boot instead of the inside of his boot, so it would curl towards him. I think Watkins is delighted with the effort there, but at the moment, it's Villa are kind of almost seeing it out, aren't they? They're not putting too much pressure on, holding the ball as much as they can. If a little opening arises, they'll go for it. Otherwise, don't panic. Control. 1-1's good enough so far.
As ever this season, Champions League highlights from the BBC, available from 10 o'clock tomorrow night on the iPlayer. Champions League match of the day, 10:30 on BBC One, so don't miss that. Club Brugge 1, Villa 1. Here's Rashford. Dancing feet, tricking his way in from the left to Tielemans. There's Dean, still out on the left for Villa. Rodgers in the inside left channel, just shields the ball, then spots some space to run into inside the penalty area, tried to get it back to Luca Dean, not enough on the pass, forward to Yashari, brilliant touch and turn to beat Tielemans. He was fouled, the referee's going to play the advantage, Dean in with the tackle, and it eventually goes out for a throw into Club Brugge. I think the referee did the right thing there, Pat.
Yeah, and do you know what, if they wanted to get a free kick 40 yards further back, he would probably give them it, but why would you? You've got a throw in that's further up the field, and the referee was all over that one, and they need something to moan about, but I don't think that was much to moan about. Nice little break there, but did it ever look as if it was going to come to anything major? Not really.
Not that time. It's 1-1, and since the equaliser from De Kuiper, best chance has fallen to Club Brugge. It was the shot from Talby that was brilliantly saved by Emi Martinez. Lovely free-flowing first half of football, not a single minute of added time at the end of the first half. Aston Villa couldn't have asked for a better start. Mings won the header from the set piece. It dropped at the feet of Leon Bailey. He'd only scored one goal before tonight. You wouldn't have known it with that finish, though. Maxime De Kuiper with the equaliser for Club Brugge, who've had their moments, very much had their moments, Pat, in this first half as well.
Yeah, but it's been kind of controlled from both sides. No one's going to let go yet, and I suppose it's what they say. You can't necessarily win the game in the first part of this tie, but you can lose it. You can lose the tie by making a mess of it and going too gung-ho towards it. Just a little 10-15 minute period in the second part of that half. I thought Bruges, their confidence grew, they moved it quicker, they took a few chances, and then Aston Villa just calmed it all down again. So, yeah, talking about experience before the game, Kelly was asking us about that. You're seeing it now from Aston Villa. You're getting a little bit more of it now. No need to panic, 1-1's fine.
I think we also got through that first 45 minutes without any further pancake puns. Half-time, Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1.
Yeah, don't worry, there'll be plenty more as the night goes on. Not just yet, though, as we wrap up that first half between Bruges and Aston Villa. And one of the players, Pat, that you singled out in the chat beforehand was Leon Bailey, his form has been patchy for Aston Villa, and he couldn't have started any better.
I think Patchy's been a wee bit kinder, as you always are. But no, he's not being anywhere near as good as he was last season. And he just looked sluggish, and he looked as if that's an amazing thing to say about a guy who was lightning, ridiculous, unstoppable at periods of last season. But it's just not been there a lot of the time. But just his first few movements up the line, played a little 1-2, went beyond full back, and you think, right, well, you're not getting caught. You put the ball in the back there. In the end, it wasn't pace that gave him the goal. It was a brilliant ball in from the back post, headed down by Mings, who had all the time in the world to head it down, but still had a lot to do there, and waited for the half volley, smacked it with his left foot, curled, didn't panic, didn't lash at it, and it was an absolute lovely goal. And since then, Bailey's looked better and better and better, and it's one of those ones where if you're a wide player, you're thinking, right, okay, I'm on it now, give me the ball. Then he only gets the ball about 4 or 5 more times after that. So it is one of those ones where I think they should be getting the ball out to him a lot more often just now.
But as you said, it's been much more controlled after that opening, first 15 minutes or so in that game. And how much credit do you have to give to the senior players in the Aston Villa squad for sort of dictating the tempo by and large throughout the rest of the first half?
Good question. I'll tell you who it's down to. Tielemans and McGinn. They've just sat there in front of in front of the two central defenders, just controlled it, held it, slowed it down when they need to, and both of them are very, very capable of lifting the pace when they need to, and taking chances and playing more forward balls and thinking, right, okay, we'll go and create something or try and score a goal ourselves. They can do that, but they'll do it when they need to do it. So far, it has been total control for them too. It's always interesting with McGinn, because we know that he can play as a 10, plays a kind of wide attacking midfielder. He can do all of those things, and when he's up there further forward, there is a little bit more creativity, but when he's a little bit further back, it's control. And he's one of those guys, he just knows when to do it, and by doing that, it's kept this game under control and limited the opportunities, particularly on the break, that Bruges have had.
Pat, thank you very much for now. We will, of course, be back with Pat Nevin and Alistair Bruce Ball for the second half of that game between Bruges and Aston Villa in the Champions League last 16 first leg. It's 1-1 at the moment. Second half coming up, and we'll also be previewing the rest of the day's sports news and look ahead to Arsenal's game at PSV, which kicks off at 8 o'clock this evening. Commentary to come on 5 Live Sport. So all of that to come after the BBC News with Nick Hatfield.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Thank you, Kelly. Good evening. Ukraine's President Zelensky says he's ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to negotiate a peace deal with Russia. He's also called their row in the White House regrettable. Earlier, the US announced it's pausing military aid to Ukraine. Liam Collins is a retired colonel and former US defense advisor to Ukraine.
I would not read this as the U.S. is standing aligned with Russia or North Korea or Iran. Obviously, the support to Ukraine has changed. But again, this is not a total surprise. He kind of came in saying he would do that. This doesn't mean that because aid has been stopped, that it's going to be stopped indefinitely.
Well, the US Vice President J.D. Vance says he wasn't referring to the UK or France, where he criticised the idea of what he called a random country deploying a peacekeeping force to Ukraine. Some MPs here have attacked his comments. Britain and France are the only countries so far to say they'd be willing to send soldiers to Ukraine as part of a ceasefire deal. The Liberal Democrat MP Helen Maguire is a former captain in the Royal Military Police and served in Iraq, and she's not happy with his comments.
Quite clear he was alluding to the UK and France, and I think as one of the highest diplomats in the US, in the same way that Trump has asked Zelensky to apologise, I don't think Vance would like it if anyone was disrespectful to US forces, and so we think he should apologise as well.
Police have started a murder investigation after a 16-year-old boy was shot dead in South London. The shooting happened in Clapham this afternoon. Arab leaders meeting in Cairo have revealed plans for the future of Gaza. They include building hundreds of thousands of new homes as well as elections in all Palestinian territories within a year. And the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says his country won't back down after being hit with import tariffs by President Trump. Mr. Trudeau's announced retaliatory import taxes on the US. Mexico and China have also been hit with tariffs by Washington. They're promising their own taxes on American goods.
Red Nose Day is back on the 21st of March. Yes! So whether you sound like Rick, Rachel, or even this person, every laugh makes a difference. Woo! We're celebrating 40 years of comic relief and the nation doing something funny for money. Get involved by searching for Red Nose Day.
This is 5 Live Sport.
The Champions League with Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
And it's 1-1 between Club Brugge and Aston Villa at half-time in the first of our 2 Champions League commentaries this evening. PSV against Arsenal follows at 8 o'clock. Elsewhere, India are into the final of cricket's Champions Trophy. They beat Australia by 4 wickets in Dubai. Our cricket reporter Henry Moran watched today's semi-final.
Well, here in Dubai, we had a really thrilling game of cricket, as so often the low-scoring matches can be. Australia up against an India side who have spent the whole tournament playing at the same venue, but were pushed as hard by Australia as they have been by any side. Australia setting a target of 265. We felt perhaps it wouldn't be enough. In the end, it did prove that way. Virat Kohli's 84 from 98. Another masterful innings. Alex Hartley, World Cup winner, was watching on for the BBC, and Alex, it was a thrilling game of cricket. There's low scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a low scoring thriller, wasn't it? I think Australia will be kicking themselves. They couldn't get 20 more because it would have been an even better game, would have had a really good climax to it. But it wasn't meant to be. India were in total control. If you look at the scorecard, you wouldn't necessarily say they breezed to victory, but watching it live, you just knew they were always going to win.
A word on Virat Kohli, who is this phenomenal cricketer who just has the ability to find a way of making things look easy even when the pressure is immense. A run chase in a semi-final is high pressure.
Yeah, his life's full of pressure though, isn't it? You know, for me, it's his ability to adapt on different surfaces and his ability to adapt all around the world that's really impressive. And he knew that it was going to be a tricky surface, so he didn't have a brilliant strike rate for a lot of his innings, and he did catch up towards the end, but he was just happy knocking the ball down the ground on the floor. There was no risks whatsoever until he got out.
Yeah, and then the game was almost won at that point. India victorious by 4 wickets. Another Virat Kohli masterclass. They're through to Sunday's final here in Dubai to take on either South Africa or New Zealand.
And we will have commentary of the second semi-final in the Champions Trophy tomorrow. It's on BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra from 8:45 in the morning. And there's more reaction to India's win over Australia right now on the TMS podcast. The FA has revealed that Liverpool manager Arne Slot told referee Michael Oliver that he would blame him if the club failed to win this season's Premier League title. Slot was given a 2-match ban and fined £70,000 for confronting Oliver after his side's 2-2 draw in the Merseyside derby last month. Liverpool have a Champions League match with PSG tomorrow. We'll have the latest from Paris at half-time in the PSV against Arsenal match tonight. Wales winger Josh Adams has been ruled out of Saturday's Six Nations match against Scotland with a continued hamstring problem. You'll hear an interview with Jamie George on losing the England captaincy at half-time in that match between PSV and Arsenal. And our commentary team for tonight's second Champions League match, Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton, who are in Eindhoven right now. Deno, I know you're missing out on Pancake Day and we've exhausted all the pancake puns, but you've landed in Eindhoven for Carnival.
Yes, that is very true, Lady Kelly. Lampigat is how they call it. It's a carnival here in the city because it's the end of 5 days of celebrations to mark the beginning of 40 days of fasting before Easter. And so when I actually arrived late last night into Eindhoven, I walked into what basically looked like the film set of the film Suicide Squad, because you think of the various people in their array of colours, vibrant colours, your pinks, your oranges, you name it, any colour it was being worn, the face paintings, the wigs, and a very strong smell of a certain substance too. So
pancakes.
Yes, pancakes. That's what I meant. Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot going on.
A lot going on, and there's going to be a lot going on when the game itself gets underway between PSV Eindhoven and Arsenal. Chris, do you think this is season-defining for Arsenal, the Champions League now?
I think it is, Kelly, because I think it's Arsenal's best chance of a trophy, isn't it? They're not going to catch Liverpool now unless Liverpool fall away. And you know that would be miracle stuff. So yeah, the Champions League, it has to be for Arsenal, and of course all the talk is about the lack of a striker, a recognised striker, and that has certainly harmed Arsenal in recent games, losing to West Ham and drawing at Forest. But they have to find a way. And I just think the game tonight, Mikel Arteta has spoken about being adaptable in Europe, away from home. And we know Arsenal's strength is their defence, but from PSV's perspective, you feel it's a night where they really have to go for it and get a victory if they want a chance of going through.
So Arsenal's priority isn't necessarily scoring goals in tonight's match because it is the away leg. But how vulnerable do you think that? I mean, the defence has been rock solid. That's been their strength, as you say, all season. But how vulnerable could they be to PSV?
Well, as I say, this is PSV's chance. You only have to look at there's a record in the Champions League this season, their home record. It's been fabulous, and for them to knock out Juventus in the playoff round in the manner in which they did it in extra time, they'll take great confidence from that. But in many respects, PSV's domestic form mirrors Arsenal in that they haven't been at the best. I think they've won in 4 Eredivisie games, so they're a team who are, very similar to Arsenal. But it's about Arsenal tonight playing with balance, trying to keep a clean sheet, and if they get chances, then they have to be ruthless.
Deno, it's worth reiterating as well as Chris was saying, just how many players Arsenal have out in similar position, all the forwards that are missing for them.
Yeah, Jesus out with an ACL injury. You've got Havertz, who picked up that hamstring injury in the Dubai training camp that they had. Martinelli out with a hamstring. Saka as well out with a hamstring. So they really have been blighted in that respect, which only compounds the area that everybody know that they needed to strengthen, whether it be in the summer or indeed in January, and they failed to do that. And then lo and behold, Havertz's latest injury leaves them very, very weak and exposed in that area. And then that has been backed up if you look at their recent form. I know they've had a a break of late, but they've not scored in their last 2. They've actually failed to score in 3 of their last 4. That has only heightened their deficiencies where they've been toothless in attack.
So, Chris, if they are going to get a goal, then it would be a precious goal in this away leg of this tie. Where are they coming from?
Where are they coming from? Well, look, I mean, they've got players who can score goals. Trossard was, particularly prolific last season. He hasn't hit his numbers this season. Odegaard's been a player, I think, as of late, hasn't quite hit the form which he did of last season. So, I mean, look, they'll have goals within the team. Ranieri's been a revelation since he's come into the team. So, look, I mean, they have players who can score a goal. It's just at this level, it's crunch time now. In the Champions League, you need a recognised striker, I think, and a recognised striker who's absolutely ruthless. Arsenal don't have that, but they'll just have to make do and hope if they get through past PSV, then hopefully Saka will be back and Martinelli will be back for the quarter-final stage. I think that's their hope, and let's get it right. I think Arsenal, Mikel Arteta will look at this tie and think PSV are very beatable, but tonight's going to be defining for them because they have to get some sort of result to take back to the Emirates to give them a really strong chance of going through.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Deno. We'll be back with Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton for PSV Eindhoven against Arsenal. It all gets underway at 8 o'clock. But before then, we have the second half to come from Bruges against Aston Villa. That one is currently 1-1 as we head into the second half in the company of Pat Nevin and Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Thank you, Kelly. Welcome back to the Jan Bredel Stadion. Before the start of the second half, here's your history lesson. I looked him up, Pat, of course. Jan Bredel, instigator of the Bruges Matins in 1302. It was the nocturnal massacre of the French garrison. It led to the Battle of the Golden Spurs, where the Flemish overcame the French troops. That is Jan Bredel.
Very impressive, very impressive.
Needed to be,
How many goals did he score for them?
Second half just about to get underway. Luca Dean last back onto the field for Aston Villa. They are in bright white kits this evening, shining under the floodlights here in northwest Belgium. It is Club Bruges 1, Aston Villa 1. And first half, Pat, we were just having a little chat off air at half time. It really felt like the first half of a first leg tie in Europe in knockout football. Just a little bit of sort of sussing each other out and not going full gas.
Yeah, and there's no reason to go and push it too early if you are either side. The questions now begin to land on Bruges, really, because they're at home, they've got the advantage of being home. It's 1-1 just now. Do they think that's enough to go over to Birmingham and, against Aston Villa and win this tie? So you suspect you might see a wee bit more positivity from Bruges if they're capable in this second half.
Ezri Konsa nearly got himself in a little bit of a pickle down there in the right back position for Villa. He was fouled by Yashari, who was desperately trying to win that ball back off him. It'll be a free kick for Villa. They've got Emi Martinez in goal, Axel Disasi at right back, Konsa and Mings the two centre-backs, Luca Dean at left-back, Tielemans and McGinn in central midfield, Leon Bailey the goal-scorer, Morgan Rogers and Marcus Rashford in support of Ollie Watkins. Free kick will be taken by Emi Martinez. He's away to our left-hand side, downfield. Our commentary position is level with one of the penalty areas. It's the penalty area that Aston Villa will attack in the second half. And Club Bruges in their familiar home kits, the blue and black vertical stripes, blue shorts, blue socks with the black tops, but clear backs to the shirts, which is nice because you can very clearly see the numbers. There's Konsa, plays back to Martinez. Simon Mignolet is the Club Bruges goalkeeper, now 36 years old in his sixth season at Bruges. Kiriani Saba at right back, Maxime de Kuyper the goal scorer at left back, Joel Ordonez, 20 years old, Ecuadorian, alongside Brandon Mekala as the two centre-backs. Nigeria's Rafael Onyedika alongside the Swiss Yashari in central midfield. Mignolet takes a touch inside his 6-yard box. Aston Villa forwards interested, across to Mekala. Nice little turn from him. Rogers went flying past him. Onyedika's got to be careful here, surrounded by Villa players inside the penalty area. Took his time, did well. Then Bailey's all over the back of de Kuyper. That'll be a foul. Free kick to Club Bruges. Onyedika, Yashari, central midfield. Talby wide right. Van Aken playing off the centre-forward Jukla with Christos Solis, the former Norwich winger, the Greek international, on the left. 1-1, second half, 2 minutes in.
Intriguing to see, start the second half, Villa, other team that are pushing up. and trying to, do the inverted commas high press a little bit more. They weren't really bothering too much in the first half, but they've tried it at the start of the second half, so we shall see if that's something that carries on. By the way, there was something else I was going to check with you. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you should use a player's entire name, not more than just his own name. So I looked up Axel Disassi's name, so when you get a chance you should give him his full name.
Oh my goodness me, Pat.
That's a cracker.
I've not seen his full name before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual names in there. Axel being the first, Disassi being the fourth. I'm going to stick with Disassi.
So you're leaving out the Wilson and the Arthur and the McNinnis and Billio.
Those are the ones I'm going to leave out. Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1. Mekela with the protective Phantom of the Opera style face mask on, the Club Brugge centre-back. Back to Mignolet in bright yellow. Van Aken, attacking midfielder. He's dropped deep here, 6'5" tall, long rangy runner. Lays it off to Onyedika, whose right wrist is heavily strapped, socks rolled down, number 15 on his back for Club Brugge. Now it's the right back Saba. They're missing their regular right back Joachim Says with a hamstring injury. He's 19, Saba comes in and replaces him. He's just 20. And here's Yashari, this time taking the ball off one of the centre-backs and trotting forward with it inside his own half. Solis has come in from the left, makes a little run. Yashari decides to play back to Mekela. Some of the Bruges fans in front of us just slowly making their way back to their seats here. As Saba has it on the right. Cross to Mekela. Mekela, look left, comes back to the right, finds his centre-back partner Ordonez, immediately gives the ball back to Mekela. And 4 minutes have gone by in the second half and very little has happened so far. And there's De Kuyper, and it's back to Mekela.
The one thing that has happened is they've pushed up a little bit the Aston Villa defence. So there's a little gap there. There's something they can play up the front. Jutla tried to get through there just a moment ago. The ball wasn't played in, but both centre-backs, Konza and Mings, didn't actually go with him. So intriguing, they're pushing up a little bit higher in the second half. Try that again now.
Yeah, Jutla again trying to get through the middle. Ran into one of the Villa defenders, might have been Mings, went down, wanted a free kick 30 yards out in a central position. The referee was in a really good position, wagged his finger and said no.
It's classically one of those moves where Jutla almost got in before, but the pass wasn't played. But the player who didn't play the pass seen it and realised, well, I'm going to play that next time, and did. He's a little bit unlucky there.
Oh, Martinez, long ball downfield. That's a foul given against Rashford for the challenge on Saba. Rashford's still playing, hasn't heard the whistle. He's tackled anyway. It's going to be a free kick to Club Brugge. This is the moment when you've sat down in your seat at a sporting event, or you could be at the cinema or theatre, and there's lots of up down in these quite tight seats because people keep coming past with their beers and snacks to get back to their seats.
And it's quite old school. It is a very, very tight stadium, so you have to get up all the time.
Ball to the left for De Kuyper for Club Brugge. Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1. We heard from Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton at half-time in this game. Full commentary on the way of PSV against Arsenal. First leg, last 16 Champions League tie. Ollie Watkins running at Club Brugge defenders. Tackled here by the right-back Saba. Immediately cleared by Mignolet. Towering clearance headed away by Mings. The ball bounces twice. Van Aken lets it run. Feeds Onyedinka. Back to Van Aken. There's Mekela to the left-hand side inside the Club Brugge half. Little short, neat passes, no danger. Yashari across to Mekela again, and now Van Aken. Clever little straight ball, finds Solis. Solis opens it up to the right. Crossing from Saba. Mings stretching, really stretching to get a foot on that, knocks it behind for a corner.
Once again, it's that ball again. Saba's on it, he's the right full-back. That's the left winger's position to cover him. Nowhere near him, Rashford. And again, I'm not digging at Marcus Rashford here. The manager might have said to him, no, let the full-back go, let the rest of the players deal with him. But it's time and again, they're getting into really dangerous positions there.
In terms of the subs available to Unai Emery, outfield players this evening, some of the injured players coming back, namely Matty Cash, Pau Torres, Boubacar Kamara, Asensio on the bench, Ian Matson, Lamar Bogard and Jacob Ramsey, and a couple of goalkeepers on there as well. Andres Garcia, Doniel Marlon, not in Aston Villa's Champions League squad. Corner for Club Brugge. 7 minutes into the second half, 1-1. In that comes edge of the 6-yard box, header away from Disassi. Rashford sort of half jumps, never thought he was going to win the header, just jumped to put the Club Brugge player off. There's Talby, lays it back to Van Aken, goes out to the right, little chip pass looking for Solis, bounces in front of him, Watkins has got it covered back there, doing the defending, lets it run, and it goes behind for the goal kick.
Interesting there, because Van Aken, he's just standing miles out of it. He's 6'5", but it's Dean is actually marking him, and he's not the tallest, is he? Maybe 5'10"-ish, something like that. So he's got 6 or 7 inches on him.
Aston Villa, I was just checking they had taken the goal kick there. This time that was Mings to Martinez. They had, and now it comes out to Dean on the left-hand side.
And before you say it, Mings knew.
He knew. Just get the heebie-jeebies because of what happened here in November, where Mings just inexplicably, I don't think, realised the game had restarted, and Martinez played the ball to him, and he thought he was the one to start the game, picked it up with his hands, gave away the penalty, and that decided the game in the group stages. Club Brugge actually finished 24th in the Champions League table. That was the last possible slot to qualify. They played Atalanta, who finished just below Villa, so just outside the automatic qualification spots, and then beat them in both legs. 2-1 here, 3-1 away. It's 1-1 in the first leg of this tie. You're listening to it on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Mekala to Yashari. Plenty of Bruges possession early second half. Van Aken to Ordonez. He goes to his right to Saba. Back it comes to Van Aken. Just inside the Villa half. Drives the diagonal pass across field. Neatly controlled by De Kuyper. Cuts infield. There's Yashari. Van Aken. Straight pass to Onyedika. Can't get that past Tielemans, but does so at the second time. What a hit from Onyedika, and Martinez. Good foot movement, came across and caught the ball. Didn't go for anything flashy, palming it away. Just made a very simple, clean catch.
The goalkeeper's allowed to catch the ball.
Yeah, amazing.
it's just actually so unusual to see it. It just goes up. To be, it's one of those ones that get a big ooh. But you're talking 35 yards out. Keeper just walks over and catches it quite easily. Yeah, it's a shot on target, but I'm not sure that was the right thing to do there. No. I think there were other players around him who could have slipped in.
Pat Nevin with us in Belgium. Here's Konza forward to Watkins, lays it off to Rodgers, back to Tielemans, just short of the centre circle, still getting booed by the Club Brugge fans. Watkins wrestling with Mekala, maybe caught by Mekala, gets the ball to Disasi, his pass down the right blocked, out it goes for the throw-in to Villa on the right. 1 Champions League goal so far for Ollie Watkins this season. It came against Celtic, the game that Morgan Rodgers got the hat-trick in, of course. Here's McGinn, back to Konza, and Konza goes all the way back to Emi Martinez. Much like the start of the game, it's being played at quite a leisurely pace, in quite a genteel atmosphere, actually, Pat.
Yeah, OK. I think you're leading me on to saying bourgeoisie, Bruges players, and team and place, and it's quite a bourgeois kind of little area, isn't it?
Yeah.
And not in a negative way in any way whatsoever. It is a genteel group of supporters here.
Yeah, it's not quite Monaco where we were with Aston Villa not so long ago. Here's Mings having to make a tackle inside his own half. Beat Juckler to the ball. Dean infield to Rashford. Rashford lays it off to Tielemans. He's trotting forward. I think that's Konza on the ball. Tielemans is to his left. But again, walking pace, no one moving at all. Then Konza takes a couple of paces forward, and again, little juddering steps. Then finds Disasi on the right. His pass down the touchline to Bailey. Again, no pace from Bailey at the moment.
Disasi's just ran right into his space that he wants to run at. If you're a winger and you're 1-on-1, you know you've got the pace of the fullback. Don't run in his way and kill the space.
Bailey looking to find space, twisting and turning, gets away from De Kuyper, finds Dean. Dean whips a low ball into the feet of Rashford. Rashford with the long-sleeved white shirt, black gloves, rolls it to Rodgers, edge of the box. Rodgers trying to make space on the edge of the area, tackled by Onyedika. Forward to Juckler. Juckler, the Club Brugge centre forward, shadowed by Mings. Passes back to Saba. Then Talby makes the run down the right. Saba spotted it, but so did Konza. Konza's across. He moves so easily, covers the ground so quickly. Keeps the ball in play down by the dead ball line. Plays it to Mings. He's in the left-back position for Villa. Calmly done, nicely done, and Villa play out. And here's Luca Dean. And suddenly, Rodgers is making a run through the middle. Dean decides not to go with that one, but it's a lovely crossfield pass to Bailey. Not the best first touch from him. The ball just squirmed away. He does get there. Better skills here. De Kuyper's looking slightly worried. Bailey back heel, turns away from him. Now he's got 2 defenders to beat. Solis is there helping. De Kuyper makes the tackle. Throw in for Villa, 1-1.
Yeah, but it underlines when he gets the ball at his feet, one's not enough. So if he drags 2 players beside him, there's going to be space somewhere else. But yeah, the quick feet are moving again. He's getting a little bit more of the ball at the start of this second half as Leon Bailey, and that's a pretty good thing. But isolate him, just give him, don't get close to him, just allow him against the fullback, he'll get by him.
Disasi's throw, Watkins wrestling with Onyedika. They still wrestle for the ball. Onyedika holds off Watkins, falls over, gets the free kick. 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Surely there, Pat, they were both doing exactly the same thing to each other.
Yeah, to be honest, that's never a free kick.
No.
That's terrible. The referee's absolutely fallen for that, but it's easy to give it to the defender. The forward does that in that position, he's not going to get it.
Well, it's a penalty, isn't it? If Watkins goes down there, I mean, he's never getting a penalty if he goes down like that. Never.
Not a chance.
PSV Arsenal commentary on the way here on 5 Live tonight. John Akers will have updates of the Madrid derby as well, Real Madrid against Atletico. Don't forget, we already know the draw all the way through potentially to the final. We know the winner of this tie will face the winner of Liverpool against Paris Saint-Germain. Commentary of the first leg of that game in Paris, live here on 5 Live tomorrow. John Murray and Stephen Warnock with that one. De Kuyper's slide rule pass intercepted by McGinn scrapping away, eventually loses the ball, but Rodgers is there to help out, wins the tackle, plays it infield. Rashford couldn't get there, it's pinging around, and suddenly it falls to Yashari, drives forward for Club Brugge, passes to his right, Vinaken into the feet of the striker in the penalty area, couldn't control it. It was Jokla, furious with himself, looks to the heavens in desperation, got away from him, ends up in the arms of Martinez.
You don't get that much time against good defenders like Mings or Konsa there. Ball's played into him. You need to be perfect with that first touch there. He wasn't perfect, Mings got in the way, but nice to play. But that little piece of play before that, no one seemed to be able to keep the ball. It was pinging about everywhere, no one controlled it. And it'd be interesting to see. There's a couple of changes I think going to be made now. Not surprising really.
Asensio I think has already got the nod here because he's taken off his bright purple bib. Long ball downfield headed away by De Kuyper. Onyedika being challenged by Rodgers, dragged back by Rodgers. Free kick. Just mentioning the purple bibs, we had Peter Drury on the Commentator's View podcast last week, and he told the story of doing his first ever report on Sports Report on 5 Live and wanted to do something a bit special. He's a real wordsmith, is Peter, and he came up with Episcopal Purple, which I just think is absolutely fabulous. And given some of the magnificent churches we've seen here in Bruges, Pat, that feels very apt this evening.
One of the things about Bruges, you come here, there's a very kind of low town, 4 stories, 3-4 stories, except the ecclesiastical buildings. Wow, they're gigantic. They don't do small in the churches and the various things. There's about 4 or 5 of them, a tiny little area.
That's right. Here's Watkins. Bit of space to work with for Villa here. Club Brugge 1, Villa 1. Watkins continues to bring the ball forward. Rashford's there on the left, outside the area. Crosses too close to Mignolet and just straight into the old bread basket there, and Mignolet makes the catch.
You know, look at Villa just now, and you think there are gears. There are gears to get through. Who's really pushing it? Who's really exploding here? And there's not really enough of them doing that to make a difference, but why should they? And having said that,
wow,
this is a big decision.
This is a big call. It looks like a quadruple change is coming here.
That usually only happens to a manager who's fuming.
Yeah.
So is he disappointed? Because you imagine if you lost this game 2-1 against a team like Bruges, you probably would be very, very disappointed with it. So, yeah, 4 changes maybe.
Boubacar Kamara, Matty Cash, Marco Asensio and Jacob Ramsey about to come on. Maybe a kick up the backside for some of those out there. Here's Disasi trying to bulldoze his way down the right-hand side. Keeps the ball in play, level with the edge of the penalty area, tackled. Yashari was able to just hook that in before it went over the touchline for a throw. Mekler inside his own penalty area. Quick pass to Onyedika. Back it comes to De Kuyper. Into the last half hour here in Belgium. Club Brugge 1, Villa 1. Unai Emery about to bring on 4 players at once. Mourinho-esque.
And by the way, you're absolutely right about it. It has had a reaction there because suddenly they passed it a little bit quicker. Very noticeable right at the start of the second half. There was the high press really quickly by Aston Villa, and then they didn't do it again. So he's obviously, the manager said to him at half time, come on, I want a little bit more, I want to push it up a little bit, I want to control this game but higher up the field. And then they haven't. They've just calmed it all down again. And I'm beginning with this change, I'm pretty sure that's not what the manager wanted.
Yeah.
Having said we're at 62 minutes, so he's 2 minutes late.
Pace of this at the moment is slow, 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 quick, slow, slow, slow. Here's Bailey trying to quicken things up on the ball midway inside the Club Brugge half. Sees a chance to shoot, gets underneath it and swerves it over the crossbar. Why not? It remains 1-1. Talking about Unai Emery's experience in this competition, this is now the 4th different team that he has managed in the knockout stages of the Champions League. So before this, Valencia, Paris Saint-Germain and Villarreal. The only other managers that have done that or more, Carlo Ancelotti with 6, Jose Mourinho with 6, Claudio Ranieri with 5. 18 minutes gone in the second half. Changes are starting. Bailey's coming off and Rashford's coming off. And Disasi is coming off, so that's for Matty Cash, obviously. And Unai Emery's come over to have a word with Morgan Rogers, so I would sense he is staying on. But Asensio is coming on, so that might mean a change of position for Morgan Rogers.
Kamara coming off as well for Bailey. So, you know, it's wild seeing so many happen at the same time. And Ramsey coming on.
McGinn's the other one coming on.
Yeah.
McGinn's the other one. I just wonder as well, Pat, with the initial selection, you know, is that if you play Asensio and Rogers and Rashford and Bailey, does that make sense? If you play... I was just thinking sometimes it takes Rodgers out of that lovely position. You know, Asensio and Rodgers really want to play in the same spot, don't they?
Yeah, you wouldn't actually necessarily play them in the same position, so I agree with you completely there.
Here's Yashari. That's good pace, getting away from Tielemans down the left. Kamara's got to chase him. First thing he's got to do since coming onto the field. Can't stick with him. Can't foul him either. Cross comes in, blocked at the near post, comes back to Yashari. Here's Solis, onto the right foot, driven shot, that's blocked. And the ball comes spinning up towards the halfway line. And goes out for a throw-in to Club Brugge. Rogers felt he was fouled by Maxime de Kuiper. Both players ended up on the floor. No free kick given. 25 minutes played. So let's see if the quadruple change makes a difference to the rhythm of this football match. It's been fairly cautious in the second half so far. Plenty at stake, of course, for both teams. Playing for a place in the quarterfinals of the Champions League over the 2 legs. Club Brugge at home, as I said in the first half, not won against an English team in England in European competition in 16 attempts, 2 draws and 14 defeats. So you would sense the onus is on them to try and get themselves ahead in this tie. Not one in Scotland either, Pat. We checked that out at half-time, didn't we? Have been to Rangers, I think. Been to Celtic and not one there either. Here's Onyedika. Ball through the middle. Decent first touch. Ramsey makes the tackle. That's adjudged to be a foul on Talby. Free kick for Club Brugge. It remains 1-1. We've got 25 minutes to play.
Yeah, just seeing what they're doing just now, Villa, and you know, we'll see what Asensio does, because I think it will actually all revolve around what he does in this game just now. He will fit in probably in that 10 position. Are they going to try and be a little bit more positive about it, go to what looks like a little bit more like a 4-2-4 or a 4-4-2?
Van Aken to Mekela. Cross to Van Aken again. Aston Villa just back off here. This is inside the Villa half. Van Aken on the left, 10 yards across the halfway line. Across to Yashari. Patient from Club Brugge. Brugge 1, Villa 1. Full commentary of PSV against Arsenal on the way on 5 Live this evening. Listen to us on your smart speakers, remember that. Just tell them to play Radio 5 Live. You'll get the football commentaries from 5 Live and Sports Extra. Champions League final score night tonight as well. Red Button iPlayer, BBC Sport website for that. Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton with the commentary. Mekela on the ball inside his own half. Asensio closes him down. It comes back to Mignolet. He's just outside his own penalty area. He's got options left and right. Looks like he's going to go longer here. Hoists it forward down the left. Easy header for Cash. Rogers controls, knocks it past De Kuiper. They're wrestling for the ball, and it's Yashari who gets a foot in and wins it for Club Brugge, and the home fans like that. But again, nothing raucous, just some polite applause from our bourgeois audience, as I'm calling them, Pat.
You know, they're kind of enjoying it. I mean, there is, sometimes you come to Belgium and some of the other places, they're playing against that English Premier League side.
Yeah.
There is that feeling of, we're doing well to be here. The players wouldn't feel that. The players think, well, we can do something here, we can actually win this game. But yeah, it is polite so far.
Asensio on the ball, plays it to his left-hand side. Here's Ramsey, cut back into the box. Asensio shot, palmed up in the air by Mignolet, volleyed by Cash from the angle, well over the bar. Difficult one to execute that from Cash. Was right to have a hit. Spoons it miles up over the bar, but suddenly the danger from Asensio.
He's incredible. He loves that position, doesn't he? He never goes in. When they go down the line, he just sits out there on the penalty spot or around it. And it comes to him at some pace, but he's so good at timing it. That one slightly on the half volley there, catches it brilliantly. Good save of the keeper. It was towards him and at him, but he's just on, and he's had one of the best opportunities of the game so far.
Yeah, came at speed, took us by surprise, probably took Mignolet by surprise. Game is slightly livening up. 23 minutes gone in the second half, and Solis speeding down the left for Club Brugge, fires the cross in, far post, headed down! Oh, and wide by Van Aken. He's done that so often for Club Brugge. All the fans in front of us were on their feet. They thought it was in. Martinez wrong-footed. He headed back across goal, just the wrong side of the post. You know, that cross came in at real pace, Pat.
The way he headed it, you think, well, he knows he's doing it. He's doing it all right. It must be on target. And it just sneaks past the back post there. Oh! Do you know what? I think it was going past anyway. Oh,
I don't know, Pat.
I tell you what. Mings is incredible there. He's touched it. Has he hooked it away? We would need to look at that about 8 or 9 times, but you'd almost give him the benefit of doubt. He's diverted it 2 or 3 inches.
That's incredible.
Which has stopped it hitting the inside of the post, which may have stopped the goal.
Free kick given against Club Brugge. Fans not happy. Mings, with a high kick, facing his own goal, got his laces on that ball. If we had ball tracking like they do in cricket, that possibly could have kissed the inside of the post and gone in. He's taken a risk. It's grazed his boot, and it's deflected it just the other side of the post. That may well have been a goal-saving challenge. Referee's being called over to the side of the pitch to give Unai Emery a yellow card. So Unai Emery has been having a ding-dong with the 4th official. Big roars from the Bruges fans. Emery complains. He's still going back at him here, and that's a yellow card for the Villa Post.
He needs to calm down. It's really important.
Still going, Pat.
It's really, really important.
Still going.
At this point in time, you've got a yellow card. You do not want to be suspended.
No.
If you're asking your players to behave, you've got to behave as well, because they'll need him in the bench. They absolutely need him on the bench in the next game.
I would not want to be sitting next to him on the bench. He is fuming, he's chuntering away.
Good luck, John Southall, interviewing him later.
To anyone who will listen, Club Brugge 1, Villa 1, 20 minutes to play. Asensio's come on, had a chance, Mignolet's made the save. Full commentary of PSV Arsenal on the way. Tomorrow night, full commentary of Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool. Thursday night, 5:45 kickoff, Real Sociedad against Manchester United. Tottenham, Rangers and Chelsea all kicking off at 5:45 as well. We'll keep you across all those games. Six Nations returns at the weekend as well. Must remind you of that. Both the commentaries on Saturday, available on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Ireland-France, the big one. Ireland having won 3 out of 3 at home against France. Kicks off at 2:15. Scotland-Wales at 4:45. Rugby Union Weekly on the BBC Sounds app. To get your podcasts every single day in the build-up to that. My favourite always the Nations pod, which is there for you today. Jacob Ramsey's made a run down the inside left channel. Good run, cut back to Watkins, tried a little drag. Mekela not falling for that. Got a foot on the ball. Club Brugge get it away.
It's really intriguing what Unai Emery's done. He has totally and utterly changed this now. He's got Matty Cash basically playing as a right winger, flying up the field. Kamara comes back a little bit. He wants his team to get going at a much quicker pace. He's going wild down there, isn't he?
Fired up, Unai Emery really is. I remember seeing him. John actually spoke to him after the Monaco game when they lost 1-0, and John said at the time, John Salvo, it was the angriest he thinks that he's possibly seen him. But tonight he's got a real bee in his bonnet tonight. Unai Emery.
I mean, to be honest, rightly so. This is the last 16 of the Champions League. They've kind of been sleepwalking their way through it to some degree, not really pushing it. You know, always saying, "Oh, there's more gears." Oh, you got to use them now and again, and they haven't done. He's changed it completely here, asking Kamara to come back, plays the right back.
Ramsey, he's just overhit the pass. Nicely worked by Aston Villa down the left. He was looking for the run of Watkins. Watkins gives him the thumbs up. Way too much on the pass. It goes zipping past Watkins and behind for the goal kick.
But this is the thing about the Champions League, or any European football. This is nice. It's 1-1. It's okay. You're in a great position. See if you lose a goal. Nightmare. Terrible position. You then have to chase it at home against a team who like playing in the break. That's why he's angry.
Still having it out with the fourth official, arms spread out plaintively. And Unai Emery again, Villa have won a throw, and he's waving his arms around furiously here to get a bit of pace and energy and intensity into the performance, shouting at Morgan Rogers, pointing at him. Ball is with Yuri Tielemans in the centre circle. Just over 15 minutes to play. Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 1. Here's Mings across to Tielemans, just short of the halfway line. Cash starts to make a run, stops and comes back out to this right-hand touchline. Looking right over his shoulder from our commentary position here, wide on the right for Matty Cash. He's getting instructions from the sideline as well. Here's Mings. Ramsey came running towards him, then backs off. Mings still has it. Then he chips the pass down the channel. Dean is onto it, loses it on the edge of the penalty area. Asensio nips in, no free kick given against Dean for the challenge. Free kick for Club Brugge. Brugge 1, Villa 1.
Well, his antics on the sideline actually has had an effect. Certainly the changes have had an effect. It's livened it up a little bit for a team that was just slightly too sluggish for his liking. I have to say my liking as well. Yeah. And I suspect the Aston Villa fans liking. You know, but do say, we said right at the start, before this game kicked off, I think he'd probably be quite happy with a draw. Well, clearly not. He thinks he should win this one. He takes something back to Villa Park.
Yeah, he's worried about the passivity and sort of letting it happen to them, Aston Villa. And as Pat says, if they go then a goal behind and suddenly have to come back in the second leg.
And they almost did. I mean, that ball that came to Vanaken.
Oh, Van Aken has played it in here to Solis, and he's screwed the shot high and wide. Great chance for Club Brugge. Aston Villa pulled apart at the back, and that is exactly what Unai Emery was worried about.
That's two chances now. Two absolutely golden chances. Vanaken, as you say, he should have scored with a header. And considering it's him, he almost always scores with them. So that was a great chance. And Solis there, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, blasts it wide. You can see Brugge are getting lifted now. They know they can do this.
Dozy from Aston Villa. Unai Emery's not having it. Need to sharpen up in the last 15 minutes of this game. Club Brugge 1, Villa 1. 4 English teams that have won at this stadium in European competition. Chris Hughton's Birmingham did it in the Europa League back in 2011. Wayne Rooney scored a hat-trick here for Manchester United in a playoff tie in the Champions League to get into the group stages. Pat and I were here to watch Cole Palmer score for Manchester City a few years back in the Champions League. Watkins has fouled Ordonez. They were jumping for the ball, he's pushed him. Ordonez has landed badly here, seems to be in some real pain holding his left leg. That's going to be a free kick. And Leicester, in their Champions League season, came here and won as well. But I do, Pat, coming back to the stadium tonight, you're not missing any football, by the way. Ordonez is down and may well need treatment. I do remember sitting in these seats and watching a very young Cole Palmer score for Manchester City, who actually, they tore Brugge apart that night. But as soon as we walked back into the stadium, I thought, yep, I remember this very, very well.
And I remember thinking, you're seeing everything. He wasn't getting everything right, but he's seen every single pass, he's seen every single run. And you just think that not every player does that. And it's one of those things where certain players, and it's not just in football, in any sport, they seem to have just a little bit more time than everyone else. And you almost don't know how they can do it. And he had it from day one for Manchester City.
Well, Chelsea are in European action on Thursday, away to FC Copenhagen, first leg, last 16 of the Europa Conference League. Players taking fluids on board. Morgan Rogers is one, Matty Cash is another. Lull in the game again here as Ordonez continues to receive treatment. Austin McPhee is out, giving some instructions as well, obviously about the set pieces. And it remains Brugge 1, Villa 1. Villa will feature, by the way, in one of our Premier League commentaries this weekend. They're away to Brentford, kicks off at 5:30 on Saturday. What do you think, Pat, about the challenge from Watkins?
It was done there. It was actually done Watkins. He didn't mean to do it, but he's caught him down the Achilles. And by doing that, he's twisted his ankle a little bit. Right. Really sore on that. I was going to say on a cold night, actually on a mild night. Yeah. But it looks to me as if he'll probably be okay. It's infuriating because he didn't see it coming.
We are going to have an obligatory pancake. We can't be in Bruges and not eat a pancake, by the way, this evening. Given the day, given the fact that we've got the early kick-off tonight, we'll have to do that.
Pancake? Singular?
Maybe more. 13 minutes to go. Second half, first leg, last 16 Champions League, Aston Villa, European Cup winners back in 1982, played in it the following season as defending champions, got through the quarterfinals that season as well, before losing to an incredible Juventus team, Platini and Tardelli and Boniek and all that lot, trying to get through on their return to the competition, to the quarterfinals again. Winners of this one will meet Liverpool or Paris Saint-Germain, who play tomorrow night. Club Brugge have won a throw, attacking position on the right.
I think this is the best they've been in the game, Club Brugge. Yeah, they've made the 2 chances, but more than that, there's a real cockiness about them, isn't there? There's a real belief, which I did not see, certainly in the first 20-25 minutes. But they know they've created those chances, they've scored the goal as well, and I think they want just wind it up now.
Long throw into the Villa penalty area, headed away. Onyedika floats across into the back post. Cash wins the header. Watkins jumps edge of the box, didn't get much on it. Asensio hooks it up in the air. Rodgers is beaten in the air. Van Aken tries to get onto the loose ball. Tielemans clears it away, straight down the middle of the pitch. Mekkeler's got to put something on that header. Watkins interested, chases. Mignolet saw the danger, comes out, takes a touch, and in the left back position slices the ball badly, and out for a throw-in to Villa. 1-1.
He timed it well though. It's one of those ones, as soon as the keeper's out of the box, you think, are you in control of this situation? We saw it at the weekend. When they're not in control of a situation, it can be very dangerous for goalkeepers. But this time he was. His first touch was good. His second touch stunk, but the first one was the important one.
Cash, long looping throw into the penalty area, headed away by Mekkeler. Second header by Solis. Tielemans powers a header back towards Konza. 2 men on him, knocks it into the legs of the leaping Yashari, goes out for a throw. Could be some season this for Aston Villa, playing in the last 16 of the Champions League. They've got Preston in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. They've not won the FA Cup since 1957. They're 10th in the Premier League at the moment, but they're only 4 points off the Champions League places, aren't they? So
it is one of those seasons, it can be everything, it can be nothing.
Exactly.
And that's the fear that you've got just now if you're a Villa fan. And that's why you want, nights like tonight, you think actually you could go and put this game to bed if you played at your very best. I honestly think they've been a long way away from the very best tonight.
Started so well with the early Bailey goal. Cash's long throw, headed away by Mekkeler. 10 minutes plus added time to be played. Dean takes the ball for Villa inside the Bruges half, goes back into his own half. Low skidding pass to Emi Martinez. Martinez finds Mings. 2 great chances for Bruges in this second half. Solis shooting wide with his left foot when he was one-on-one with Martinez. We thought Van Aken maybe had scored, was about to score with the header. Mings might have got a crucial touch on that one, diverting it wide. Villa have a throw on the left inside their own half. Dean, real power in that, bounces twice. Watkins chases, back it comes to Mignolet. First time clearance with his right foot up towards the halfway line. Tielemans leaps to win the header. De Kuyper is there for Club Brugge. Meaningful pass to the left is a good one to Solis. Solis one-on-one against Cash, brings him on the inside, passes back to the edge of the box. Van Aken supporting the attack, rolls the pass into a central area. Onyedika slides it to his right-hand side. The right-back Saba plays it out to Talbi. Talbi's ball in, Mings is right there. Throws his head at it, clears it away. Bruges fans encouraging the home team forward. They beat Aston Villa here in the group stages back in November. It's 1-1 at the moment. Here's Yashari. Yashari shoots from a long way out. That's awful. Drags it low, bobbling well wide. Goal kick Villa.
Do you know they're so controlled up until that? They're moving Villa around, they're asking them questions. They were just waiting for that little bit of a gap. That wasn't it. And he's hit it there, and he's hit it absolutely terribly. And I think Aston Villa will be very, very relieved at that. Talk about the chances in the second half. Have Villa had one? I'm trying
Asensio.
Yeah, the Asensio one. Yeah, good save by Mignolet. But that Mignolet, that is it. There's been absolutely nothing else.
No. Van Aken's ball, little 1-2. Van Aken receives it. Down the left he goes to Yashari. Yashari takes on Konza, throws himself to the floor. Doesn't get the free kick. Kamara moving away from a challenge. Plays it centrally to Asensio. Asensio, smooth runner with the ball at his feet. Ramsey's come in from the left-hand side. Ramsey dribbling across the halfway line. Diagonal ball to Kamara. Here's Rodgers in space on the right for Villa. Early cross the face of goal. Oh, it's an own goal. Mekkeler stuck out a left leg. He tried to stop the cross getting to Ollie Watkins, and Rodgers' delivery was perfect. Mekkeler felt he had to do something about it. Mignolet couldn't save the deflection into his own net, and suddenly out of nowhere really in the second half, Aston Villa have the lead. Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 2.
Perfect description. Out of nowhere. They really hadn't created much at all there. Down the right hand side there, the ball in is horrible for defenders. Had he not touched it, there was a tap-in. So the defender, he's got to go for it, but the problem was it was just beyond his area of control there. He's got as much on it as he possibly could, but that was just enough to put it beyond Mignolet. If that was a striker, that would be a brilliant finish, unfortunately for them. And now you look at Unai Emery. He looks much calmer now, and you do feel sorry slightly for Bruges. They were just about to make 2 substitutions.
We were talking, Pat, last Wednesday. I was commentating with Izzy Christiansen on England's women against Spain at Wembley about the corridor of uncertainty, and that term as it's used in commentary. That cross from Morgan Rogers is exactly that, isn't it? Between goalkeeper and defender, and Mekla had to try and make an intervention there because Ollie Watkins is right behind him. Mings wins a ball on the edge of his own penalty area. No free kick.
You know, it wasn't just Watkins. Asensio was in there as well. So it was 2 players running onto it. So one or the other would have got to it. And it is a massive relief for Villa, because it was actually looking like the worst part of the game. They made the 4 changes. Obviously they were needed. They were beginning to give up chances as well. And then just that little bit of quality, not in the finish, but in the cross. And they're not an easy streak yet, but in a much better position than they could have been.
Second leg, Villa Park, next Wednesday night. Commentary will either be on 5 Live or Sports Extra. The other station will have Arsenal against PSV second leg, because the Liverpool against Paris Saint-Germain game will be on the Tuesday night. That's our commentary tomorrow night with the first legs. Club Brugge stung into action. Zolis with a cross from the left straight into the arms of Emi Martinez on the edge of the 6-yard box. So we've got just over 5 minutes to play. It's Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 2.
And what a brilliant time to score a goal as well. You know, just when you thought Bruges were going to go one huge last cavalry charge, have a little go at it, you could see it coming as well. They were going to make the changes. They'd certainly attack-minded players to bring on. Nielsen's going to come on in a minute, but they didn't get a chance to do it.
Just wonder whether Aston Villa might even get the chance to get a third here. Ramsey scurrying his way down the left-hand side, tackled by Saba, and that is going to be a throw-in for Aston Villa. So Aston Villa fans packed in immediately to our right here, so 6, 7, 8 seats along, just the other side of the yellow metal railings. We've got hundreds of Villa fans singing their songs, and then the other section of Villa fans are up behind the goal away to our right. There were only 2 bars open in Bruges on a Monday night, but they were packed with Villa fans last night. I think the pubs could be busy again tonight. Pat, Bruges 1, Villa 2.
I think they'll be pretty excited about it. So if they can keep it going, but they have to keep it going up to the end. There'll be a few minutes extra time as well.
CK and Nielsen. Gustav Nielsen is the Swedish striker. He has come on, and Ugo CK is a right back for Club Brugge. Talby, one of those to come off. Dean gets a cross in from the left-hand side. It stays in play. Oh, Cash has won it. Was he tripped? Penalty. Well, again, that's come out of absolutely nothing. Dean did really well to keep the cross in play. Cash went over to make the challenge, got a touch on the ball, and then a rash leg stuck in, caught Matty Cash, and the referee had no hesitation. He's given Aston Villa a penalty. What an opportunity to give themselves a 2-goal cushion in the tie.
That's just Solis there, and to be honest, there's no argument, and he's not arguing at all. He didn't mean it, but he's turned away. The ball's a good 2 feet away. It's a bizarre winger's challenge.
Ollie Watkins has taken 3 penalties for Villa this season. Marco Asensio being asked by Ollie Watkins if he wants it. Tielemans has the ball in his hands. That'd be a bold one as the former Anderlecht player who's getting booed. Luca Dean then takes the ball, lobs it to Marco Asensio, a man who has won the Champions League 3 times, who has already scored 4 goals for Aston Villa and has scored a goal in the Champions League final. Simon Mignolet is going to make him wait. VAR just checking on the penalty. Up on the big screen it says check over, no doubt about that. Silly challenge from Solis, definite penalty. But I mean, Pat, Villa, Unai Emery, enraged by how poorly they were playing in the second half, suddenly have a chance here to go 3-1 up.
3-1 up, and I cannot say they played brilliantly. Even to get 3-1, they've got these goals almost out of nothing. If they get this third one.
Yeah, Marco Asensio, possibly helping Villa take a massive step towards the quarter-finals of the Champions League. He stands directly behind the ball, waits for the whistle. Here he comes, then he jogs away from the ball, running to the right. Asensio finds the bottom corner. Mignolet went the right way, couldn't get to it. Marco Asensio, what a signing he's been for Aston Villa. They've been gifted the penalty here. 2 goals in the second half now. It's looking really good for Aston Villa in the last 16 of the Champions League. Club Brugge 1, Villa 3.
Phenomenal. What a great night for these Aston Villa fans that come all the way over here, because they will have watched it, and then those chances started to go at 1-1. 2 golden opportunities for Bruges, who could have taken over this game. Complete panic. And by the way, I think that he slips a little bit when he takes this ball, Asensio. His right foot gives away, but it gives away after he hits the ball.
You always say to me, Pat, if the goalkeeper goes the right way, it has to be in the side netting. Mignolet went the right way, it was in the side netting.
If it doesn't, the keeper will save it 100% these. Well, I'd say 98% these days he will save it. He's really unlucky there, Mignolet, but there was power, accuracy, and the other thing is to do that while slipping, which is pretty good, pretty impressive.
Ollie Watkins' missed penalty against Celtic. That was the one that was ballooned over the bar after a massive slip in that game. What a night for Aston Villa. And I mean, John Southall's going to have fun with Unai Emery post-match now, unless he's still raging about what he saw in the second half for a while there. Bruges 1, Villa 3. Winners of the tie will play Liverpool or Paris Saint-Germain in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and it's, again, you look at this team and it's away from home. It's in the Champions League. It's again a team against a team who are no mugs. So to add all that up and you're 3-1 up, there are so many positives to take. But in the back of it, the biggest positive is Aston Villa can play better than this.
Much better.
Much better. So when you win a cup, you have to get there at the right time.
European Cup winners 1982, Aston Villa. The year is 2025. They're 3-1 up in Belgium. Live on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Commentary to follow on PSV against Arsenal. Mings is there, volleys the ball away. Asensio controls it. Didn't see Van Aken coming. High foot from Van Aken. He claims he took the ball. He grabs the ball and he holds it. He proffers it to the referee and he said, I kicked that. I didn't kick Asensio. Villa get the free kick. More changes. Saba is coming off at right back for Club Brugge. Michal Skoras, Polish winger, is coming on, and Hugo Vetlesen, 25-year-old Norwegian, is coming on into the midfield for Club Brugge. Onyedika, thank you, Pat, is coming off, and we're into added time at the end of the game. Lamar Bogart's going to come on for Aston Villa as well. Ollie Watkins is going to get a break. Villa next up, away to Brentford on Saturday. Full commentary on 5 Live and BBC Sounds Saturday afternoon. Our 3 o'clock commentary, by the way, is the leaders Liverpool at home to Southampton. Chelsea-Leicester, full commentary 2 o'clock on Sunday in the Premier League. Tottenham against Bournemouth, there'll be commentary on the website. Manchester United-Arsenal, commentary at 4:30 on Sunday. Before that, though, PSV-Arsenal tonight. PSG, got to get your consonants right there, against Liverpool tomorrow. Real Sociedad against Manchester United, commentary on Thursday. 4 minutes of added time in Belgium. Some night for Aston Villa fans, leading Club Brugge by 3 goals to 1. Mekela, who scored the own goal, heads it up in the air. Oh, Rodgers did well to keep it in play. Tackle, throw in Villa.
Yeah, again, they'll be looking at it tonight and thinking they can't believe they're 3-1 down. They can't believe they're going to go away from this almost, as it were, out. Now, they're not completely out because they did well against Atalanta away from home, but it's a huge ask to go to Villa Park, and Villa are almost always much better at home. So, yeah, 1 foot in the next round.
They have only lost twice at Villa Park this season. First home game of the season in the Premier League against Arsenal, and they lost against Crystal Palace in the League Cup. The only 2 defeats for Aston Villa at home this season. Bruges 1, Aston Villa 3. First leg of the Champions League, last 16 tie here in northwest Belgium. Cross comes in from Tielemans. They're looking for a fourth. Kamara wins the header, heads it back across goal. Push in there at the back post. Free kick for Club Brugge.
One of the things at Club Brugge, they were trying to make those substitutions at 1-1 and didn't quite get them on in time. And you think about it, there are 4 substitutions that Villa made, that little bit of extra sharpness, just little moments like when they got down that right wing and got the cross in. That's probably all the difference there is.
Oh, you're sorry. That's a great ball into the penalty area. De Kuyper with the cut back to the edge of the box. The shot is knocked over the crossbar. Late chance for Brugge in the game. Villa sliced open again. Really well worked down that left-hand side. The first time effort, hit with the left foot and cleared the crossbar by quite a way.
It's actually a really, really beautiful move. De Kuyper is the man who gets into the good position again. He could argue was there bobble there, and maybe there was, because it's went a long way over the bar.
Vetlesen, the substitute, was the man to strike it with his left foot. I think you're right, Pat. I think it just lifted on him before he hit it.
Yeah, because his head was over the ball. He's trying to do everything right there. But once again, De Kuyper's coming up from left back there. He scored one goal there. He should have created another.
Unai Emery is tearing into Matty Cash. Minute of added time remaining. Aston Villa leading 3-1. He is not happy.
And it's not particularly against Matty Cash.
No.
He just happens to be nearest.
Yeah, exactly.
Said the upset winger from the past.
Here's Rodgers, playing right wing at the moment for Villa, gets away down the right. There's the cut back into the penalty area. Brugge get a foot on the ball. Back heel to Van Aken. They've got a minute here, the home team, to try and get themselves a goal in this tie. Brugge 1, Villa 3. Full commentary, PSV against Arsenal on the way. All the reaction to tonight's football in the Football Daily podcast, available via the BBC Sounds app. Later tonight, first thing tomorrow morning. Van Aken twisting and turning, 30 seconds to play inside the Villa half. Here's Vetlesen, who just missed that chance. Vetlesen chips a little ball down the inside right channel. Stooping, blocked with the chest by Dean. Ramsey's then fouled inside his own half. Villa get the free kick. They'll be happy with that. I think that will probably be it. They'll take their time over restarting the game, and Unai Emery is going to tell us he's delighted, but Villa possibly got away with one.
Very intrigued to see what he says. Very, very intrigued indeed.
There we go then. What a night for Aston Villa, back in the beautiful city of Bruges. It did not go their way in the group stages, but this is knockout football now in the Champions League in March. Definitely not at their best. Unai Emery making a quadruple substitution during that second half, and very unhappy with elements of the performance. But two late goals, the own goal from Mekela, then gifted the penalty as well late on. Asensio stuck it away. They're leading 3-1.
They are, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and they carried a little bit of luck tonight. Not that they were awful, nothing like that at all. Probably the right score would have been a draw tonight. That'd probably been a fairer result, but it doesn't matter. When you get opportunities, when you've got top players, they can put them away. And that comes down to the penalty kick as well when Asensio comes on. And remember, Asensio was arriving in the box alongside Watkins for that own goal as well. So he's made changes, but he's made changes with the guy that he's brought in recently, and he's made one hell of a difference to this season, Asensio.
And he had the chance as well before that, didn't he?
Which
the
was
shot,
saved.
which was saved
honestly, there's lots of things that happened tonight, but once again you walk away and the big moments, the big players turn up, and that guy Asensio is a big player.
Yeah, I cannot think of any original pancake puns. I'm just going to say it's been a flipping good night for Villa and their fans, Kelly, joyous away to our right, and the Villa players in their all-white kit have gone over to them now, and they're a wee way away from them because they're in the second tier, they're up above them, but they are in a fantastic position now, playing for a place in the quarter-final. Second leg is a week tomorrow at Villa Park. As I say, Villa have only lost there twice all season, and they will start with a 3-1 lead from the first leg tonight.
It's Alistair Bruce Ball and Pat Nevin who are there watching that game for us. Pat, this is knockout football to a T, isn't it? I'm not quite sure how Villa managed to get a 3-1 win there, but they'll very gratefully take it back to Villa Park.
Yeah, just now and again that happens in competitions. There are many competitions where the teams win and get to final and win it and have a great time. You forget all the games in the run-up to it because it's all about getting there and making sure you're in best form when you arrive at the final. So, not played their best here. We've watched them against Monaco. They weren't great there. But they've got 1 foot, maybe even more than 1 foot, in the quarter-finals. And they've got a lot of improving that they're perfectly capable of doing. So, yeah, well done, Aston Villa. Well done, the manager, making the changes when he did. Didn't make them fabulously, hugely better, but it gave them the opportunity to bring Asensio in. And when the moment came, the man stood up, and it's exciting times for Aston Villa. Very, very exciting times because they know there is more to come.
And Ali, we should say that Nicky Hine, the Bruges manager, has had his players in a circle on the pitch. He's been talking to them, he's been cheering them up. He will feel that disappointed to come away from that with the defeat, taking that 3-1 deficit to Villa Park.
Well, I think so. I think so, particularly in the second half, Kelly, because he could see that Unai Emery wasn't happy with Villa, and they were potentially there for the taking, and they'd switched off. And they did have those two great chances. One late chance when they're 3-1 down that Vetlesen puts over the bar, but the header from Van Aken, I mean, again, watch the Champions League highlights, match the day tomorrow night, 10:30. Mings, I'm sure, gets a touch on that. That possibly was heading into the far corner. At that point, it could have put Club Brugge 2-1 up. Solis got in as well and shot wildly off target. So I'd be really interested to hear what Unai Emery says after the game, actually, because he will know Villa can play a lot better than that. I think, particularly Kelly, I know history isn't everything, but like I said a couple of times during the game, that's a massive task now for Club Brugge, because never won against an English team in European competition away from home, not just in one game or two games, in 16 games of football, against a Villa team who are so good at home and have only lost 2 at home this season. There is talent in that Club Brugge team. They've had a good run in the Champions League, but just got away from them at the end of the game tonight.
And Pat, you both you and Ali have said this now, that you can't wait to hear what Unai Emery says in the aftermath of this game. He was extremely frustrated on the touchline in the second half. He made those 4 changes. Well, what do you reckon his take? I mean, what he says and what he thinks may be 2 different things at the halfway stage of this tie. But what do you think his takeaway will be from this?
I think he'd be really disappointed to come out in the second half and played, because I was talking in the first half, right before the start of the game, I said to you, I'd probably be fine. That'd be a good result away from home in Europe. But because it looked as if they were 2 or 3 gears down from where they should have been, you didn't think he'd be very happy. Is that experience, is that control in the game, or is that just not been up for it? Well, obviously in the second half he tried to get his team going by A, telling them to press early on, B, making 4 substitutes, C, jumping about like a jack in the box in his own box there, and it still wasn't having a great effect. So you're right, we don't know what he'll say. He may say something other than he actually feels, but he was not happy there. 100% he was not happy, and I think it comes down to one thing. This is the final 16 of the Champions League. This is no joke. You need to put everything in. You don't walk away with these things usually, but this time they've got luckier than they probably deserve to be. And that's what will have annoyed them most, that they needed luck to help them over the line, other than the effort that they should have had before.
Pat Nevin and Alistair Bruce Ball in Bruges, thank you very much for your company this evening. As Ali said, we're running out of pancake jokes, but no waffle from those 2 over the course of the evening.